goes well with my level up.
Reload.
Upgraded and good to go.
Recharging shields.
My weapons in hand, ready to die.
Care package being delivered.
Supplies coming in. I'm in trouble. Engaging the enemy. Fence placed. If the fence gets crossed, we'll know. That enemy shield is broken.
Axta out.
Getting shot. Just stopping off my shields. My shields need a bit more power.
Shield now. Enemy down.
Throwing thermite.
Reload. I'm down. I'm bleeding out.
Dark pierces through.
You played dead like a pro. Max level without breaking a sweat.
Gauntlet, check. Scanners, check. Devastating field
I got
traps.
your back. Man, let me tell
very
you.
check.
The ring is one hell of a beast.
Introducing your champion.
Small up yourself. AJ Shay's coming through. I'm the jump master. AJ Shay, lead on my way.
Let's do this. Let's do this. I kind of hate this map, y'all.
Get ready.
I kind of hate this map. Naya, how you doing? Hey, what's up? What is up? I'm landing on this light arsenal.
Someone go fetch blood. Okay,
Oh my god, please don't kill me right here. Please don't kill me right here.
Taking fire, brothers.
I feel like I should be dead. I'm gonna go get high ground. Look, oh, there's loot.
Got some extra munitions here. Extended supplies in here. Hey, Doc, come on back.
Enemy up.
Hostile close.
People up there too. I'm not even trying to push that, to be honest, because I know there's another team.
Contact with hostile.
Fuck, dude. See what I'm saying?
Enemy down. Broke their shield now. I've been down.
Damn it. See, I knew I shouldn't have pushed that.
Disappointing. Attention. The kill leader has been eliminated.
What game is this? This is called Apex Legends. It's free. So if you have a Xbox or PS5 or PC, you can download it for free today. It's not a giant game, but it's not small either. So you're gonna need some space on your device. But yeah, I think it's really fun. It's really fun actually. A lot of sweaty people that play this game. A lot of tryhards. That's a good question, though. Matter of fact, this actually might be the best battle royale game out there. You think of Fortnite, you think of Farlight, you think of Warzone, think of PUBG. This is in terms of like battle royales. I think this game surpasses all of them by far. I think the devs can be a little retarded sometimes, though.
You're fortunate. I have much to teach you.
So weird.
This is your champion. You know what I look like. Come find me.
I'm the jump master. AJ Shea leading the way.
Do a map room.
Let's land here. Get ready. Moving on.
An enemy landed near me. Their final mistake.
My weapons in hand and ready to dance.
I now have an enhanced weapon. I'm under fire. Enemy field cracked.
Dogs coming. Reloading.
Got that, nigga.
Extra supplies here. Firepower is key. Reloading. Hold up. It's upgrade time.
Damn.
Let's see what the duck order.
Cut down an enemy. The entire squad falls. Reloading.
60 seconds till rings closed.
Upgrade. Target spotted.
Damn, boy. Damn, son.
45 seconds. Rings
I'm
closed.
gonna hit this shit real quick. Then I'm in there.
Evo harvesters are now available.
Target acquired. There.
We have 30 seconds. Prepare.
Enemy firing. Broken enemy shield. Bringing fire.
Passing the other ship.
Rings closing in 10. Time for that.
Good kill.
I'm the kill leader, bitch. Let's go.
The ring's moving. Good to burn if we don't get inside.
Good. Jump in out.
My headset died. Okay.
An excellent selection.
Backpack here.
I have a
Level
gold
3.
backpack. I didn't even realize. Holy.
Shield battery here.
I'm on time and bitch. You don't know what time it is? Okay.
An excellent selection.
Plug like goddamn. You really want every flavor? Okay.
Standing by for care package.
White care package over there. White care package over there.
Let's glide up.
I think I saw something purple in here.
Optics
I
here.
did.
Mid-range.
I'm the type of dude that crafts ammo. I be crafting that ammo.
Hang on, I'm crafting.
I'm coming, Fruity Pebbles. I'm coming.
Enemies firing at
Oh shit.
You know it just us.
Oh
We got to watch
fuck.
each other's back.
I'm going there. You would be wise to follow. Firing away. I've secured the banner. They get
Ain't no way that shit just happened to me, dude.
Let's get some air, Doc.
Are you really looting this dude's box? That's ridiculous. You looted that dude's box, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's our teammate. You just did that to, man.
Backpack here. Level 2.
Oh, my scalp itches. Holy fucking ball sacks.
I'm back to tour with a few more lines.
I'm on time and bitch, you don't know what time it is? Okay. But like, goddamn, you really want every flavor? Okay. You went around for this, but you want to come around now? Okay.
Let's get some air.
Bro, I feel like a lot of black people just hate on Ian because he's white. They don't like to see like a white dude like who's like actually be good at rapping. And it's like, who cares if it's different? Like that's not the question. Like, is it good or not? I mean, it's subjective, but I mean, you can't bash anybody for liking it. Dude is talented. Oh wow, I really just
Level 2.
can't find another light mag for my R9 other than a white one. Flow like, god dang, you really want every plate? Okay. Bro, I can't find a 3x scope or a fucking blue light mag. I can get a blue light mag now whenever I go to this light arsenal up here. All I need is blue attachments and I'm fine.
My ultimate is prepared. Do not slow me down.
Apex Legends, hell yeah, Bruce Lee. You already know, bro. You already know, playa. My team has officially left me. I don't even blame them.
We're scattered. Do you want to die that way?
This has been the most uneventful game ever. You on Xbox? Never seen anyone stream this before. I'm actually on PC, bro. Believe it or not. Yeah.
Come on, Bob. They're over here.
My teammate's fucking calling me out.
New kill leader.
I'm on my way, bro. My bad, my bad, my bad.
Hey, Bob. Question. Very important question. Are you one of the minions?
Minions? What do you mean by that?
Bob the minion.
Oh, how did you know, dude? You got me.
Oh my God, I fuck with you.
You got me. He fucks with me. He fucks with me. PC is crazy, dude. The best experience of this game is on PC. Did you see that? Did you see that, Bruce Lee? I just pooped on that kid's face, Bruce. Oh, hell no.
Here, take dog. We'll fix you up.
I didn't like that. I play on PC with my boy, and it's hell compared to Xbox. Yeah, I hear you on that. I'm actually a demon though, so I can hold my own against these fuckers. Keep on shooting at me, bro. Keep shooting. Brain dead. Yeah, and you see like this movement that I have. Like I'm on controller, yes, but it's really hard to do on console. But on PC, I can make it work on controller. Sirskis, yes Sirskis. I'm still the cheerleader too, motherfucker. What is this? Bats? Yeah, like I got some pretty good movement for.
Bob, I'm about to impress you. I'm about to become your Gru right after this. I'm gonna pick up this Kraber and with every single shot.
Be my Gru daddy, please. Oh.
I'm a minor.
That's even better. We got a fallback set, motherfucker.
Taking fire. Just giving my shields a reach out.
Dude, nothing I could have done right there. Kinda just want to go play ranked, honestly. Do I want to play ranked? Oh. Yeah, dude, I don't know why. It's just like pubs is not hitting. I know it's BS how they do the. I don't really understand. Yeah, they actually make it so that like so if you're playing controller on PC, your aim assist is different than the aim assist that you would get playing on console. So you actually have a benefit. Like you're playing on 60 FPS, maybe 120 if you're on like Xbox One or like a PS5. But if you played in a PC lobby, they'd probably have the benefit of FPS and like, you know, fucking MNK. But you have literal fucking aimbot with your console aim assist. I like that would be my argument to like stay on console, but I can't even like promote that because when you play on PC, your options for being like creative and like having more like I guess freedom with the game it just expands. It's so big. I can do so much more just because I'm on PC. I can do 10 times more just because I'm on PC. And I don't think console players understand that. Even in terms of just streaming, I have so much more freedom because I'm doing it on PC. So like once I got used to how rigorous a PC lobby can be, it actually isn't that bad. Yeah, the only reason I would stay on consoles because I can beam people a lot easier, probably have easier lobbies. But I'm trying to play against the best of the best. And like for example, if I see a console pred, I immediately think they're dog shit. I immediately think I'm better than them because I can solo queue to masters on PC lobbies as a lifeline main. I should help you with your settings. Yeah, dude, I got you, bro. You're talking about like your controller settings, right? I can definitely help you with that, for sure. Because I've tried every controller setting to experiment and get better, and I've basically like got it down to a science with like what works for me. But I use ALCs, and I use the highest sensitivity possible for my yaw and pitch, and then my ADS yaw and my ADS pitch is actually relatively high compared to what other people would use. Like I'm at 280, like pros will be at probably around 150ish, which is So I'm like my sensitivity is very, very high. Like I play with this pro player, and he told me like, yeah, bro, I could never use your sensitivity. But now that like when I first started using it, it was like, okay, this is hard to get used to. But I don't know, I'm so much better for it. Oh wow, why is my game freaking lagging so hard, bro? Shit's lagging like ball sacks. Advanced settings I like better than the regular stuff. I do too. Yeah, I always tell people, like, if you really want to like get better on controller, try using ALCs and experimenting with what works for you. But the goal is to get the highest sensitivity possible. Like, the goal is 500 at the end of the day. And so if you can't do that now, you wean your way up. So you start 350, then after a week you go 400. That's kind of how I did it. And now 500 feels slow to me. I wish I could go higher. Like, I'm being so for real. I wish I could make my sensitivity higher. I'm playing ranked, so I gotta low-key like lock in.
The battle happens quick. Optics here. Mid-range.
I want to find a second. Oh, I want an R9.
Close range.
But I might go pick up a PK actually. What's your favorite gun to use, Bruce? My favorite gun right now is probably the R9 and the R301.
Open supply bin of
Bro, can I grab any of this shit? Holy. Oh. Oh my god. I have basically a fully kitted. Alright, bro. I hear you, King. I think I'm gonna get a PK, dude. Nah, it's like at this point it's like fuck it. I'm gonna go pick up this blue light mag. I can't even pick it up. Why can't I pick it up, dude? Now watch. I switch them out. There we go. All right, let's lock in. I'm subbing you a G at Apex. I can tell. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Senora Sugar.
301 G7 longbow Volt. I like all of those. 301's my favorite, obviously, but the G7 is so fucking dirty, especially in ranked nowadays. It's the only like light gun that can compete with the fucking 30-30. Oh, he's over there. He's one shot. Dude, why would you run out into the open? Why? What made you think that was okay?
Flatlands got your back. Reloading. Just giving my shield a recharge.
Throw your ult, bro. Come on, left line.
Taking fire.
What? Oh, hell no. No way we won that, dude. You down bad right now? GG's? Dude, I swear to God, my teammates low-key pissed me off right there. My teammates low-key pissed me off right there.
I'm upgraded. New kill leader. As I fall.
Like, just because I'm lifeline, people feel entitled to like get res. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think it works like that. Actually, I don't think it works like that. You gotta be at I'm not gonna lose my positioning and get myself killed just to res you, and I did it anyway. Cause I'm a good person. I'm a good person, dude.
You're coming with me, though.
But yeah. They held it down. They did. I had to res both of them. If I didn't do that, we probably would have lost. Well, I take that back. I think if I didn't res them, I would have just had to kill all of them. I could have did that too. Can I super glide or nah? Nope, guess not. Guess not. They did hold it down though. I can't even dispute that. That is undisputable. They held it down. And I'm not gonna lie, like, it's like, you definitely the man. Thanks. the more and more I play this game, especially like more like competitively, the more I realize like, dude, a PK is just like so fucking dirty. Like the PK, if you hit your shots, is damn near the best gun in the game.
Let's glide.
Yeah, you like when I spin my power sword? I love doing this shit. It's like it's like a fidget spinner for people with ADHD. Like that's what an heirloom is. An heirloom is like a fidget spinner for like ADHD people. That's basically what that shit is. See, look at this controller movement. Bro, I still can't fucking super glide right now. If you was not Lifeline, yeah, if I wasn't Lifeline, it definitely would have been Raps for sure. For sure. That's actually so facts. And like, I don't know if you noticed, I'm like always practicing my movement. PK only shotgun I use, and I'm ass. Dude, I'm telling you, bro, the PK, like, it doesn't matter how good you are. That, like, you can hit your shots with the PK, like you can play decent. You can have a good game if you know how to use that gun. And when oh shit! Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. He killed the bird. Oh no, he killed the bird. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that bird. Alright. Okay, take these bats right here.
Let's get some air, Doc.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, I just have, like, pubs has not been fun, especially when you solo queue. I'd rather just fuck solo queue ranked. You're a master? What do you mean by you're a master? You like you made it to masters?
Holy shit, it's like 20 snipers, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is this?
Did he just hit me?
Just giving my shields a recharge.
Did it alone too. Dude, nice. I did mine alone too. Like when I got to masters for the first time, I solo queued like basically the whole time. And I can get to masters this season. It's like, bro, do I have the patience though?
Right underneath us.
I'm becoming, yeah, ranked. Yeah, I figured you were talking about ranked. I had a feeling you were talking about ranked.
One of them, one touch, 166 on him.
Yeah, I look, you want to turn my mic on and start conversing with this teammate here, doing some damage. We're gonna need these comms.
Bro, they're so low, both of them.
Good callouts. Good callouts in there. Not solo queue, just not with a made team. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I don't even have a made team. I just kind of play with my friends whenever they get on. It just depends on who's on that day. Dude, I hate the 30-30, bro. I don't know how you feel about the 30-30. I hate that gun, bro. It is the worst.
Stay with me. Keep the healing coming.
I'm gonna throw a nade to that door.
Grenade, grenade.
How
the
did it
fuck?
break the door? What the fuck?
It didn't break the door? That's crazy.
Hostile spotted.
How'd that not break the door?
Ready to jam.
We need to sync up. We're not all in the ring. Reloading.
I think this might be a crazy angle that I'm about to find.
Shields are recharged.
Not in the distance.
I thought it was gonna be a crazy angle. It was not. Fuck, dude. I haven't played for 3 weeks. Shake back. Dude, I feel if I take a 3-week break, then like I'm literally just like if I come back after 3 weeks, bro, I'm just ass. I'm just so ass. I can't take 3 weeks off. I literally play this game every day for at least 3 or 4 hours.
Reloading.
damn, I hate this fucking shit, dude.
Not far from the ring. Half a minute.
This is Seer just fucking holding that shit, dude. No fucking way. It's Raps. It's Raps. We need Gibby to throw his shit down. Thank God. Yeah, push this shit, bitch. Push this fucking shit, motherfucker. Push it. Push it. Push it. Do it. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I really hate this shit, dude. They drop down.
That bitch.
Let's get some air.
Pushing that, pushing that.
Giving my shield a recharge.
I'm on time in, bitch. You don't know what time it is? Oh, okay. This bitch is so dead. I did. Repeater not good long range. Yeah, I hear that a lot, but it's still OP. Like, you can't deny the fact that it's still like not OP. Dude, I'm gonna get rid of this PK. I know it did me good in that fight, but I kind of just want to one clip. You know what I mean? Kind of just want to one clip that person instead of like trying to like 2 or 3 tap them. It takes too long. I'm not feeling it. So I'm gonna drop the PK. I'm gonna drop it, and I'm not gonna lie. I just have this like weird thing where like I just like the R9, bro. It's my gun. It's my go-to. I have the most kills on this. Like I think the most killed like guns I have are R301 and R9. It's just a crazy combo. They call it the R400.
Let's go this way.
I hate shotguns. Yeah, if you miss a shot, it's very unforgiving. Shit. Bro, I swear to God, I'd be hearing like shit and it'd be fucking throwing me off. Bro, I know I saw a dude right here. There we go. Oh! Literally never seen a guy more one shot in my life. Okay. Bro, this Sparrow is gonna have a lot of damage by the end of this game.
Let's get some air, Doc.
I love how Lifeline has this glider, bro. It was the best thing they could have had. Oh my God. Ain't no fucking way. Bro, audio? Does that exist? Is that a thing? Does audio even exist? Oh my God. Ain't no fucking way, dude. That guy just jumped on my head. Mirage killed me the most. I hate him. That motherfucker came out of nowhere, dude. How did I know that was him? I'm cheating. Oh my God. As much as I want to push that, I think he's right. Do you see? This is why comms are so important. Like, there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to like rotating and shit. We gotta be on the same page. Gotta be.
Here, take Doc. He'll fix you up. Just give my shields a recharge.
Recharging my shields. Cover me. Perfecto. 45 seconds. We're right next to the ring.
I'm about to kill this fucker.
Team on top.
I got shot from behind, dude. Literally shot from behind.
That's it.
Literally shot from behind. That's okay. It's alright.
Oh, we gotta move left. And you want my... Right here.
Yep, I see this motherfucker. I'm about to push him actually. Wow, that arc star just fucked me up
Also
bad.
takes up.
One clip. One clip.
You need to all you. Oh.
Another enemy.
Didn't have it. Didn't have it, dude. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
You gotta throw your ult to the team in front so we can.
Just give me my shields a recharge.
To this team here, you gotta throw your ult, I think, so we can back left. Come to me, come to me, come to me. There's a guy on top, bro. There's a guy on top. Hey, on top, throw your.
Ay, caramba.
Touch.
Nothing I could have done right there.
Yeah, we should have thrown that out a long time ago.
Yeah, and you should have did more damage than me. High ground is key, no cap, but getting to the ring safely is more important. Yeah, in that scenario, we were kind of focused by 2 teams, and unfortunate, very unfortunate. That team had height and position. Like, they had both. They had good positioning and height. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like when I died that the second to last time, when I like one clipped 2 people, the Sparrow and the Revenant, I'm thinking my teammate should have my back. I just killed 2. Now it's a 2v1. Why am I getting shot in the back for free when my teammates are right behind me? I would love to see his POV in that fight. You love Valk and Rampart? I actually, I'll be honest, I probably have less than 30 minutes on both of those characters. I just simply do not play them. But I do like having like a Valk on my team for rotations, because imagine if we had a Valk right there. Then we could have rotated like for free. And like I think some movement ramparts. Like a movement rampart is dirty, bro. I swear to God, I've ran into like a couple movement ramparts, bro. They are dirty. Okay. Level 300, no badges, no trackers. Probably a cheater. That's sad. To each their own. Hell yeah. Who's your main? Do you main Valk and Rampart? What is that? What is what? Wait, hold up. What is what? I'm lost. Dude, oh my god. See, remember those one clips with the R9 I had? If I had a PK, I would have had to 2-pump them, and that's an extra like 2 seconds right there to get a kill.
Got this weapon in hand. Good.
What is a movement rampart? Oh, a rampart is literally like for example, like I consider myself like a movement player. It's like a movement rampart is a movement player that's using rampart. So like imagine like a rampart tap strafing around corners and fucking super gliding, mantle jumping off everything. That's what a movement rampart does. And like when a rampart throws down her shield, she can super glide off her shield. So if she does her shield down right here, she can jump on it and she can super glide off that shit. So like very exploitable like when it comes to movement. People don't even know that. Like you put her shield down, that's a free super glide.
Enhance my weapon. Okay.
So like if I see a rampart super gliding, especially off of her shields, I know she's probably a really good player, like a streamer or some shit.
Running low on ammo.
Cause that's what streamers do.
Say one. We're all inside this ring.
Oh shit, dude.
Heavy mag here.
I have a
Level 2.
gold fucking heavy mag.
Level 2.
Hell yeah. Very true. That's why R9 is used a lot on PC. Yeah, dude, I love the R9, but I'm gonna use a car this game because I got a gold mag for it.
Extended light mag here. Level 2.
Extra supplies here. Firepower is key. Looks like a care package is coming in. Big James in that.
What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm gonna take that. Oh, he marked a light mag. I need that. Oh wait, there's one right here. Awesome.
My weapons in hand and ready to dance.
Ask and you shall receive.
Let's get some air, Doc.
Copy that.
Oh yeah. You see R9 less on Xbox for sure. Interesting. I didn't even know that. It's funny because like situationally, like I can see why someone would want to use a PK. Like if I'm holding this corner right here and I peek shot back to cover, that's literally a free PK shot right there. But if I'm out in the open shooting my PK, I'm also susceptible to getting lasered. So the only way I would use a PK is if I know I can hold cover, and like that's just like late game. That's just not always the case. You can't always like if you're rotating, you have to be out in the open. PK is not going to be helpful in that scenario. At least with a spray gun, I can ego and get a one clip maybe. How the fuck dare you? How dare you shoot at me? I was scratching my nose. Scratched the fuck out of that shit. Felt good. Felt right. Bro, where are these fucking losers, dude? I got fucking 700 or 470 light ammo. Charged up Rampage is pretty good. Oh yeah, dude. Not gonna lie, I've been liking the charge rifle actually. The charge rifle is fun as fuck. Oh really? It's definitely better than the Spitfire, but I think the Spitfire is more consistent just because you don't have to charge it up.
Target over there.
I don't think my team's on that shit. Like I think my team's kind of just wants to lay back and snipe. That's what it looks like. They're not trying to push anything. I hear you. I don't dig it, but I get it. I would rather play with my team than just get kills. This game is fun. Oh my gosh. This game is like only fun when you play with people, I swear to God. Unless you're just like a demon that can like solo push at anything, you gotta play this game with some friends. I think there's like somebody directly under us.
Passing near the sugar.
Need to recharge my shields.
Yeah, there are. I'm just not gonna put myself in a position where I can get like easily lasered.
Contact.
Okay, there goes that guy. I think there's a guy like over here somewhere.
We should move there, companions.
Yeah, dude, I was actually watching this console pred. His name was like Slappy, something like that, Slappy, some shit like that. And he was like, yeah, bro, like console is so much harder than PC. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like you're on console. What do you honestly think? I think in certain aspects it might be harder. Like it's easier to get beamed, so it might be harder to play certain angles against a console player. But in general, like I feel like PC players, they spend more money on the game. They, generally speaking, play more competitively. Like a console player, they're just more casual. So I don't see how that like correlates to like console lobbies being harder. I think it's complete opposite actually. People on PC, like people with these $3,000 PCs, are out here like grinding. That heirloom is big as fuck. He's talking about my heirloom. Oh fuck! Oh my god! You never heard that before? You never heard that BS before? Right, right. I'm just saying. I almost got shit on, dude. Holy fuck, that was scary. My teammate said I had a big ass heirloom. I almost got shit on for it. Dude, see, me personally, I would have been pushed this team if I was with my like normal squad that I play with, or any of my friends. We would have been pushed these motherfuckers. And I'm about to play on the offensive real quick. I think that I can get a different angle and create some space for my teammates to push up. But I need to do some damage in the process. Looks like this team is ready to push though.
Hostile right here.
We know they're in there. What are we gonna do about it?
I'm healing.
Let's glide.
Okay.
Just giving my shields a recharge. Hey, Doc. You follow them now, alright? Contact the hostile.
Yeah. Dude, I do this. I do this, bro. I do this shit, dude.
An upgrade. Hey, Doc. You follow them now, alright? Got an upgrade. Gonna put it to use. Reloading. Hostile
Also,
over
the team over there too. Just so you know. Oh god, someone just died.
I downed one.
there. Down.
He downed one. Nice. Yeah, we are actually running through this team. We're about to roll this team.
Left.
We're rushing in here. Give me that free damage. Always take the free damage. Nice.
Got a replicator incoming.
Got that guy one shot. Let's go.
Down.
Oh, my controller just died. Yo. Yo. Yo, my controller just died, bro. What's my lifetime kills? 40,000, 41k. And I have 32k with lifeline. Hell yeah, dude. What are your lifetime kills?
Just giving my shield.
I'm actually kind of lasering right now. I can't even lie, dude. This is what we do. This is how we rock. This is how we roll.
Target spotted.
Extra supplies here.
I'm spotted. Taking fire. Let's just giving my
Pushing
shield a
up.
recharge.
No need to take a bus. They'll meet me soon.
Let's go. We get these free kills. Free kills. One more. One more. Hey, the Newcastle's one shot. Just push them. Literally one shot. I swear to God. Let's go. Good shit, motherfucker! You got like 11,000. Nice, dude. I feel like you say you're ass, but you're probably not ass. You probably got some really good aim, bro. I feel like you got some crazy aim. Pause. Does that sound gay? I don't know. Pause. No homo. Do I gotta say no homo after that? I feel like you got some crazy aim. No, that's not gay. Super spread out, TBH. Oh shit. Hold up, I gotta lock in, twin. Oh, I have no more batteries. That's actually a crazy idea. I need some batteries.
I'm healing.
See, look, I use my super glides to reposition and get different angles, and they never expect me to.
Get close. Reloading.
They spotted me. I'm taking a shot.
Wow, this. I destroyed that bitch. I just got triple swung. Dude, that portal saved my life, dude. No fucking way. Yeah, I really be using my shit to reposition though.
Lifelines got your back.
I'm screwed. Damn it, dude. Damn it. We tried. See, and that right there, that's where PKs are like really, really good. I was kind of caught out in the open there when that dude. That fucking crypto ultimate really screwed me over.
Good there, Bob?
Oh, what's up? What's up, bro?
What's up, man? You want me to continue running the swamp cooler, or no? Okay. What? Here, say hi.
Holy shit. Oh, wait, output device. Hold up. Here we
Can you hear me?
go. Hey!
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. We're about to enjoy. We decided to go indulge in some fried chicken.
Some fried chicken from where?
Well, we got it at King Supers.
Okay, cool.
We used to make our own when I had my deep fryer, but
I've only made fried chicken once, but like it was really good. I don't really know how you can mess up fried chicken.
oh no, don't say that.
Don't say that. Oh gosh, never mind.
We have seen some really bad, like, including ones that were undercooked batter, raw meat. Some people have thrown in like frozen chicken.
Oh gosh.
And yeah, that's really bad.
Unseasoned batter.
The egg wash broth. Yeah, we've seen all kinds.
Do you like where you from? Where you guys from?
Well, my kiddo was born in Colorado. I was born in Cali.
Okay, so where do you guys live right now?
We're in Colorado.
Colorado, okay. About to say, because it sounded like you got it from like a supermarket, right?
Yep.
That's what I
it's like,
thought.
It's kind of like, oh shoot, I can't remember what it's called in other places. You know, like kind of like Carl's Jr. is like
Yeah.
West Coast, but then it's Hardee's, like kind of like Southeast.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember. You know the name of King Supers in other states? Like, is it Fry's or what is it?
It's
Kroger or?
yeah, it's the Kroger like brand name. So like, it's kind of like the umbrella.
Okay, so I know exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, like I don't know why they do that, but I'm just like, you know, it's the same.
To get around monopoly laws.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it.
Basically, like, you can't have a monopoly under the same name, but they split it up and you're the parent company that supports all the smaller businesses.
Oh. Yeah, no. And I think the chicken isn't the chicken like Chester's?
Yeah,
Chester's
Okay.
fried chicken. Yeah, but I'm a total junkie for fried chicken. I love Korean fried chicken too. I like all kinds of fried chicken.
I don't think I ever had Korean fried chicken.
Oh, it's actually really, really good if it's made right. It has
Okay.
to be made right, and then you eat it with pickled radish cubes.
Pickled
It's really
radish
good.
cubes?
Yes.
I've never even heard of that before. Holy crap.
Why? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. It's got a really nice. It's like a slightly spicy sweet sauce
Okay.
that coats the chicken.
Korean fried chicken.
Yes, kid, Korean fried chicken. It's amazing.
The batter isn't made with like flour and corn. It's actually potato.
It's potato starch, so it's got super, yeah, it's got super
Oh.
crispy, like super good. And that batter is like thin, so like clings onto the chicken skin, but creates this like really, really crunchy. Like when you bite into it, you could actually hear it crunch, even though it's soft.
Oh, I gotta try that. Do you eat it with like rice or noodles?
Nope, you can just eat it as is with the pickled radish.
Pickled radish. That sounds like an acquired
Yes.
taste.
Yeah, but actually, it's actually pretty good. A lot of people like that I've introduced them to, they actually
Let's get some air.
they're a little taken aback at first because the Korean radish is not like the American radish.
Right. Okay.
So when they have it, they're like, "Oh wow, this is actually really good." But I tell them like some people may not like it by itself, but I told them you have to try it with a piece of the fried chicken.
Okay. Okay.
It's kind of like how can I put it? It's kind of like if you were to have
Let's get some
chicken
air,
and
Doc.
waffles, but the waffle is missing or the chicken is missing.
Okay.
That's not enough.
You know when you try the Korean fried chicken, kid, you gotta try it with the radish and one because they go hand in hand. It adds a tangy, fresh to the chicken.
Okay. Yo, Bruce, have you ever had Korean fried chicken?
Yeah, it's like think about how like with like I guess like desserts or like anything really heavy, they usually have some sort of side dish that's like
That's true, because the Korean fried chicken is on the richer end, and that
Okay.
pickled radish does help break the richness.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna try that out. I wonder if they have that at my local, like, it's Korean. I mean,
Let's glide, Doc.
What state are you in?
I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina, if there's like a Korean community, there should be
There's a
somebody that
perfectly good
makes
upgrade
it.
just waiting.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because there should be someone that makes it. Although it's hard to find, because here there was only one place that actually made it, like that traditional Korean way. And then I guess the owner swapped or something, and then they removed it off the menu. And my son and I, we were like,
or
the only place that has that perfect traditional Korean fried chicken. But we haven't gone back though. Maybe they brought it back, but I
well,
don't.
she was saying that the owners are back to the old ones that used to be there.
Well,
the ones
yeah, but you know, fried chicken has to be on
Because that's what I'm saying. You go back on with up with them again.
You don't eat fried
That's
foods anymore?
true.
Why don't you eat fried foods anymore, Bruce?
Huh?
Oh, I'm like streaming right now, so I got live chat up and I'm reading the chats.
Oh. Oh, am I interrupting? I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. My chat is talking about they don't eat fried foods anymore, and so it actually sparked a good conversation on in the chat.
Well, here's the thing. Technically, you could make fried chicken in the air fryer.
I've done that before.
Let's get some
If
air.
you master it, then you won't have to deal with the oil. But
But-
what most people don't realize too, the trick with frying chicken as well, using the oil, the only reason why it becomes such a huge issue is if you don't do it right, because then it soaks up oil, so you end up getting more
Right.
oil than what you need.
You know what the trick is?
What?
You either sous vide the chicken first,
Let's glide, Doc.
then coat it and air fry it,
Yes.
or you bake it first.
Yeah, you could also. Well, I've done pre-boiled too. That's actually came out really nice because the whole point is you could actually reduce and make it a bit healthier and still enjoy it by
Let's
like
glide, Doc.
basically partway
Wonder which
cooking the
upgrade I
chicken
should get.
first,
I'll let Bob know that I'm.
and then you can batter it and then you can fry it and do whatever. Because the less time it's in the deep fryer, the less time it's in the oil, the less oil there is.
Isn't it like just like generally? I feel like people have this like it's just everybody knows it's just better when you cook it in oil though, right?
Oh yeah, I love like.
Oh,
I
you
don't
said you're a health
overly
freak,
indulge in
Bruce?
fried things, but the way I
Okay,
see
and
it
you
is
work
if you're
out.
gonna
I
have
hear
it as a
you.
treat,
I hear
you might as
you.
well go
I need
all
to be
the
more of a
way.
health freak. I do work out
Because
though,
you know
but
it's
I
like
do
saying to
indulge in
yourself,
food
you're
I
not
shouldn't
gonna
eat sometimes. I
you're
do
gonna go
that.
through life without ice cream or without having a candy bar. Like that's the one thing I taught my son is it's everything in moderation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you don't want to like overdo it and
Let me
certain
know that
things.
I'm hopping on soon.
Oh, he'll be hopping on soon, is what he says.
Okay.
But you don't want to like overdo
I've
it.
got an
If you're gonna have a
upgrade
treat,
waiting
that's
for
why
me.
for my son and I, we don't. If I want a hamburger, then I'll have a hamburger.
Right.
You know, if I want French fries, I'll have a French fry. But I'm not out there trying to get it like every day. You know?
Hey, Mom.
Exactly.
Let's get
Mom.
some air.
Yeah.
Actually, since you have Discord, why don't you
Yeah.
join?
No, I was gonna watch.
That's funny.
I was
Best
gonna
fried
watch
food you
movies.
ever had was
Well,
peanut
he's
butter
doing this
and
little
jelly
stream
with
thingy,
cake
so
batter
I just
in
figured
it.
you guys could go and enjoy.
Peanut butter and jelly with
Yeah, but
cake
peanut-
batter in it? That is crazy,
Besides,
dude.
kiddo,
That sounds like diabetes. Like
enjoy,
that's the
have
definition
fun.
of diabetes.
It's like yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is
But it's also
crazy.
nice for you guys to play and just chill and hang out.
It sounds good though. It's low key
Oh no, because if you get me started with food, it's like I could go for hours about food.
So why don't you hang
I
out
love
with us and
food.
talk
Someone in my
about
chat
food for
said the
hours?
best fried food they ever had was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with cake batter in it, and it was deep fried. What?
What?
Deep fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich with cake batter.
Okay.
Kind of sounds delicious.
Ooh. Well, because a lot of the stuff, like when my son and I like, because I taught him how to cook since he was like 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's little ways to always make food a bit healthier without losing that feel, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, and then, but indulge every once in a while. It's a treat. Because I even taught him how to make ice cream from scratch, like pasta
Oh,
from
your
scratch.
best friend
like, all
made
sorts of
it?
stuff
Or
from
your friend
scratch.
made it?
He's
It
really,
sounds gas,
like,
yeah.
we both are very into cooking.
My friend's mom seems
We
to like it. This is
unfortunately
my
can no longer
friend's
cook
mom, by the
together.
way. She's super cool.
It is like Clash of the Titans, because I cook granny style, which is the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
So I don't have a recipe. I just kind of use, you know, I don't do the measurement thing. Whereas he's very science-oriented.
Right.
So he's very technical, and he understands the science of, like, you know, how certain molecules work, and then he'll cook that way. But we both enjoy the food that we make. So I do more traditional style, but
Right.
I always adjust recipes for basically if you want to just make it healthier. Because in general, I'm not into like fats and oils. Like I'm really weird about that.
Yeah.
So when I make stuff, I taught my son like you could bring this part right here. This is the bad fat. This is good fat. Or like even certain substitutions, for example, like when I make brownies, like you know that canned pumpkin that just sits there
Yeah, yeah.
after Thanksgiving, you could actually put that.
Dude,
Instead of all the butter
she
and
sounds
oil and
so
stuff into
sweet. Like
brownies.
she sounds like an amazing human being. I
And
can't
it
even
comes
lie.
out phenomenal.
She sounds like a great mom. Really smart, right? Interesting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I mean, I've substituted like applesauce. I've put in like sour cream or yogurt, because the way I see it is, if I am gonna make food, especially like desserts, like when I bake and stuff,
Yeah.
I want people to enjoy it, but also feel good about what they're eating, right? Without it
Like from a
losing
health
flavor.
standpoint.
Yeah, because the way I see it is, if it's healthier, then I can eat more.
Right. Wait. I remember
Yeah,
my
no,
dad
people
told me this thing. He was like, "You can eat a
people used
whole
to-
box of vegetables and you won't get fat." And I was like, "Yeah, but who wants to do that?"
Well, here's the thing. The trick with vegetables, it's more how you cook it and how you present it. Like, I remember when my son didn't want to eat his vegetables when he was little. So, how did I get him to eat the vegetables? Was I actually made Alfredo, and I took green beans and I like sliced them open, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And he came home from school, and I looked at him and I said, I made
Bro,
monster
egg bake?
pasta today.
What
He
the
was like,
fuck is
"What?"
egg
And I
bake?
said,
You
"I
gotta
went out
explain
and
that. I don't
killed
know what
a
that is.
monster inside the pasta right now." And he was like, "What?"
Monster
So I got
pasta.
him to eat. Yeah, I got him to eat his vegetables that way. I said, "Look, here's the eyeball, and look at his guts." And he actually gobbled it up, and he told the other kids about monster pasta.
That's
So they
actually
all wanted
hilarious.
Yeah, because I mean, you just gotta teach them in a fun way at a really early age. And I personally believe you can make anything taste good. It's just a matter of figuring out what flavors go with it, right?
I agree. Cause I never
So-
liked, like, I was never a big fan of like peas or whatever. Like literally I just don't like peas. But I loved when my mom made asparagus or broccoli or green beans because she knew how to season them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I was never that
Actually, I
kid that
got-
didn't like vegetables.
Because I tried like foods from different places, and I really loved eating when grannies cook. I mean, they are the most ultimate cook. Like, I would meet people, I'm like, "Can I meet your grandmother, please?" You know, because they
Yeah.
know how to cook. So I picked up different recipes here and there.
Oh,
throughout the
cool.
years. And there was one person for decades, he did not eat Brussels sprouts. So I actually made it different. I actually made it Korean style.
All right, I'll
Like,
I'll
I
ask
know
her.
where
Yeah,
to
I'll
use
ask her,
stuff
Bruce. Give me
where
a
people
second.
normally don't think about
She's
using
getting
it.
into the
So
she's
I
talking.
made,
She talking
stir-fried Brussels sprouts using a Korean style black
Wonder
bean
which upgrade I
sauce.
should get.
Okay.
And the thing was I made it because they're an older couple, so the wife was like, "I love Brussels sprouts, but I will never eat them." Well, the next day she went looking for them and they were gone. He had eaten them.
So, let's glide.
So I believe that it's just more like get creative. Like most people have like such a set, they're like, "Oh, it has to be cooked like this," and I'm like, no, cooking is like an art. You can draw whatever you want, you could freestyle it. And
Right.
I personally believe that cooking's the same way, because as long as you put love in the food, who's not gonna like it, right? Sometimes it could be hit or miss. That's the one thing I never stopped my son was cooking. Sometimes he came up with some interesting concoctions, you know, I must say. But there were times where he came up with something so good, I was like, "Give me another bowl of that."
Right.
You know, so yeah, I'm like, people are like, "Oh, but you gotta eat like this much vegetables," and I'm like, you know, the reality is if you sat there and measured all day, then that takes the joy out of food.
That's a good
Instead,
point.
what you should do, yes, because what you should do is like, people say, "Oh, you gotta go on a diet." I'm like, do you know the word diet? It just means what you eat. So if you're like sitting there going, I need to eat like this or I need to eat like that, and I'm like, but you need to listen to your body. Like, I think that's what a lot of people miss. They're so busy with pills and all sorts of stuff, and oh, this type of diet, that type of diet, and I'm like, you need to understand your body too, because you know science does play a role in your body.
Yeah, everybody has different
You know?
metabolisms as well.
Yes, because like, and not only that, but eating styles, right? Like some people, they're like grazers. Like you have to eat like smaller meals or snacks throughout the day. Some people just enjoy like a heartier meal. But you know, when you try to force yourself to eat something, I'm like, then you're not happy. Your body's not gonna produce happy hormones or happy proteins. You know, if you're gonna eat something, you might as well enjoy it. And
Right.
people don't realize you could actually sneak veggies into burgers and actually have it taste good.
Somebody in my chat, they want me to ask you this. Have you ever had an egg bake? Do you know what that is?
What kind of egg bake?
That's a good question. He just said egg bake in general. What type of egg bake are you talking about, Bruce? Because I don't know what an egg bake is. I don't even know what that is. But he said it's really good and he wanted me to ask you.
Well, because I know there's like different styles. Actually, almost every country or like culture has an egg bake.
Oh, okay.
Just waiting for me.
Like the different way that they
Yeah.
make it, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm waiting for him to respond. There's like a probably 30-second delay, so it's gonna take a while for him to a little bit for him to respond.
You gotta remind me, 'cause there's so many different things. Like I love like studying like food history too. I really enjoy that because every culture's got that noodle, right? Or maybe they got that rice, or they got that casserole, or they got that hot dish. I just find it wonderful.
He said in a glass dish like a pie. I don't think he knows exactly what to call it or where from. He said in a glass dish like a pie. I'm pretty sure all egg bakes are probably made like that, right?
Well, actually, what's funny is the chicken egg bake. We actually use a tofu container.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is tofu a vegetable?
So weird. Yeah. We used to use, I remember when we used to do ours, it was, we would pop the yolk and everything, and we would whip it up really well, just throw it into a tofu container. And the craziest part is technically there is a shortcut to actually whip it up and put it in the microwave and make it. Traditionally, it was steamed.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Bruce
and
is
it
telling me he uses Bisquick, cheese, bacon, onions, and peppers to make it.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
It low-key does, actually. Yeah. When you make yours, what all do you use?
It was simple, like simple scallions, whip up the eggs, and then they use like a little bit of these, it's almost like krill, like really tiny shrimp to kind of add a little bit of flavor.
Okay.
And that's what they would use to steam and bake. Sometimes a little pinch of salt, but you could omit certain ones, but it comes out almost like an egg cake, but it's like a savory kind that you could eat with rice or other things.
Okay.
But
cool.
yeah.
Man, there's so much stuff I haven't tried. I need to be more prudent in trying new things.
Yeah, because I always tell people, I'm like, don't, just because you had one bad experience doesn't mean that there might not be a dish that it's so good that you're going to be like, wow. Because that's how I got my son to eat more vegetables and fruits, was because I would cook different things. So like one night, if we had Italian, or if I do Thai style, Vietnamese style, it just doesn't matter. Like I always figured it out. And then we would play cooking games, like if we were limited. Like there was one time where I would be like, okay, here's the challenge. We're gonna basically Iron Chef it. Whatever we have is whatever we're gonna make. And we made the best chicken pot pie with a Doritos ranch crust.
Oh wow, that sounds so good. Oh god.
But that's why I love the creativity, because if there's no creativity, where are you gonna get inspiration,
Yeah. I went through this phase where I was trying to like lose weight, and I was working out every day, and I wanted to, eat healthy, but I wanted to still enjoy it. I'm the type of person where like I don't feel satisfied if I eat food for the nutrition, but I don't really like the taste. You know what I mean? And so I started making, I would get ground beef, I would get salmon, I would get tilapia, I would get chicken, and then I would get, what else would I get? Mainly those meats. And I would try to, eat, have a different meat each day while also, incorporating different vegetables. But one thing that I really liked was making, a protein bowl. And I would get, mainly chicken or ground beef. I would get lettuce. I would get shredded cheese and some queso. And then I would legitimately, eat that in a protein bowl. And, I honestly just cut out carbs for a while. Because carbs are what made me gain weight the fastest. But, I was able to kind of get around that by putting a lot of cheese in my food, essentially.
Yeah, and carbs could just be a treat, right?
True.
Like if you want that burger with that bun, and you just add more lettuce, add more slices of onion, tomato, because that's the one thing, when I was raising my son, is if you restrict yourself, you're just gonna want it more.
Thanks for not giving up on me.
And it's
Right,
just gonna
right.
make you sad. Whereas if you learn and you expand your palate by learning different ingredients and different things, and you know,
Let's relocate here.
I always had my son take a multivitamin because let's be real, all the food that everyone is eating right now is really gonna provide all the nutrition your body technically needs? No. But if you take a multivitamin every day and then you just have to figure out whether it works better for your body before you go to bed or when you wake up in the morning, but then it'll allow you to actually enjoy the food more where you're getting the nutrients from the food because you're really not going to get everything that you may need on a daily basis out of everything you eat, even if you eat healthy. You know, because stuff isn't like our soil's quality is going down, so there's not going to be as much nutrition even in a fruit like there used to be.
Literally, yeah.
Because the soil's being stripped. So that's one of the things is that I never, when people would ask, like, because I remember I had gained 90 pounds. Like, I wasn't gaining enough weight when I was pregnant with my son.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to gain, like, literally 90 pounds just to make sure that on delivery days it came out okay. And then, you know, I hit a point where I realized, like, okay, I need, because what scared me was the realization of, wait, my kid's going to start crawling, he's going to start walking and running, and if I can't, you know, stop him on time, you know, and then I realized
You should make your own pizza, bro.
And,
you should make your own pizza. It's like,
but most people don't understand.
For some reason, when you make a homemade
how did
pizza,
you lose the weight?
it just
And I
tastes
told them, I
so
said,
much
"But you
better
have
than
to be
like
happy
going to Papa
first."
John's or some shit. I'm glad you finished your workout, bro. I need to work
It
out.
always starts off with mindset, right? If you look at something like it's dreadful, it's a chore, are you really gonna enjoy doing it? It's the same thing, like, and for me, it was just more like, okay, you know what? Because I was also on bed rest during that time. So I remember, like, the first time I went, I stepped on that treadmill. I didn't last. Like, I only lasted a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I stopped myself. And that's the other thing is knowing your limits, right? Instead of sitting there going, yeah, I'm going to do this, like, crazy workout. And it's just, you know, I just stopped myself. I said, okay, you know what? I've been stuck on bed rest this entire time. My body's not that good. So what I did was, okay, I only lasted less than a minute. That's okay. The next day, I went and I tried again.
Right.
So little by little, you know, I started going 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. And as I started moving around, because that's the thing is most people don't understand. You don't have to like, oh, I got to go specifically to a gym to achieve something. No. You just move around. Most people don't know if you brush your teeth, bam, you're burning calories. You take a shower, bam, you're burning calories. You're walking around to your car, you're burning calories. So the goal, like, at least what worked for me is not focusing on all the weight, because, you know, muscle weighs more than fat too.
Mm-hmm.
So I focused more on how did my body feel, because I felt good. Little by little, I started moving around, and the biggest thing, I didn't weigh myself. I didn't, you know, check and see, oh, I have like these clothes that I gotta fit into. No, I just kept on moving around, and little by little, like, I noticed I was able to move quicker. I was able to do things, and I was just like, you know, and as long as when my son started running around, I'm like, yeah, I could catch you, you know?
Yeah,
you just never know, right? Like, you could be out on the street and you never know, your kid might just jump out.
GG's, Bruce.
You know,
Thank you for stopping by. I actually really had fun communicating with you, bro. You seem like a really cool
my
dude.
motivation was just, I want to be able
maybe
to
we can play one
make
day,
sure
bro.
that
Really, like,
if anything
my
happens,
shit's
I can
bomb
move quick
TYB.
enough, you know, to look after my son. So
Well, good night, bro. Have a good night.
Food-wise, you know, I didn't go on a specific diet, you know. I normally tend to graze eat, and I don't do very many carbs either, just naturally, because I just don't get prepared for it.
Right.
So I mostly eat like fruits, vegetables, and meats. Do I enjoy cake every now and then, cupcakes? But that's the one thing I did when I was raising my son. was I never restricted, if
Let's
that
go
made
this way.
sense.
Yeah.
So what I would do is like, oh, here, we'll enjoy a dessert, we'll enjoy a treat, you know, and I'll let my son, if he ever wants to talk to you in regards to like his situation. But there were times where, unfortunately, you know, it's hard, especially if two parents are not together and one whole household has a complete different diet
Yeah, right.
versus the other. And so there were times when my son would come back heavier. But that's the thing is, you know, I didn't sit there and be like, oh, okay, well, you're out of shape or you need to go on a diet. I never said anything like that to him. Instead, what I did was when I saw him come back and I was like, okay. So I snuck in more vegetables, you know, and when we would go out for a treatsy day, I would just say, okay, mommy only has this much money, so how about we get one ice cream and we share it. So the thing is, I never restricted him. But instead, what I did was use a subtle, more different way instead of saying, you know, oh, you're like this. So I just snuck in more vegetables and gave him more food. It looked like more food, but majority of the bulk load of it was actually vegetables that I snuck in. I snuck in different grains, you know, because I never once judged him for how he appeared to be whenever he came back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because mindset's everything. If you're happy with what you're eating and then you feel good, you know, about yourself and knowing like, hey, sharing is pet. He loves sharing food. So when I just said, oh, okay, I don't have enough money, let's just split an ice cream. Well, he still got to enjoy the ice cream. And not only that, then I would say, hey, I don't feel like using the car today. Let's just walk together. And that's what we would do. So there's small, more subtle ways to help yourself feel good and not try to put yourself in a box, you know, that may or may not help.
I feel like
People
I
forgot.
developed a really bad relationship with food because, like you said, like I told myself I can't eat this or this will happen. When in reality, it was like, no, you can be like, you can do stuff in moderation. Like it's not always the case that if you eat this, it's gonna make you like super fat. And then it's also like just the stigma around it, and then the culture around food. I don't know. A lot of times, I really do only eat simply because like I just want to taste something good right now. You know what I mean? It's like it's not really like I'm hungry, and so I have this weird thing with food where I withhold it from myself because I feel like that's what I have to do.
And then you stress yourself out, and next thing you know, you're stressing.
Right.
You know, it's and that's the thing is like if you make food a joyous experience and you just enjoy, you know, eating is necessary, right, for us to live. Living off of all the pills and, you know, shakes and everything, like the reality is there is joy to food, and it's all about mindset. Like my son and I, we indulge. Like I said, we indulge in fried stuff. We eat our fruits and vegetables, and we'll cook and we'll treat ourselves out. And you know, most people don't realize you actually genuinely lose. And I don't like the stigma with weight, right? Because then people are looking at numbers, and I'm like, don't look at numbers. Look at how your body feels. And
Right.
if you don't pay attention and you just enjoy what you're doing, you feel good on going on a walk. Not everyone's gonna enjoy the gym, you know. But let's say you love nature and you're like, hey, I just want to go out to this lake and I just want to walk around and look at something, right? You're still burning calories, and if you need to eat and nibble a little something, then so be it. But if you have that mindset of, okay, you know what, I'm here to enjoy, what adventure will I have with food? Are you not going to be happier and more excited to eat something and try something new? Because then you might learn another way to make vegetables good, you know, that it actually tastes good. Like you're just like, wow, I didn't like this vegetable. I've had a lot of people that were like, oh, I didn't like this vegetable, but how did you cook it that it actually tastes good? Because there's many different ways of cooking it. You don't have to settle for one type. I mean, just explore. And if anything, if you're like, hey, I want to indulge in something, well, go out with a friend and say, hey, let's split things together.
This way.
Let's nibble a little bit.
Right.
Or if you're like little tricks, right? Like, let's say you ate out and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm ordering this rich dish. I really love it. Then portion it in half. Ask for it to go by. And put half of it in there. And then guess what? You've got either breakfast or lunch. And for Korean culture, we have a saying that breakfast is a golden meal.
I'm not done yet.
Because that's why a lot of Korean households, the idea of a cold breakfast, they won't do. It's something hot, soupy, because they believe it jumpstarts the metabolism, right?
So like cereal, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, I was deprived of cereal when I was a kid.
Okay.
I mean, let me tell you, when I see those Lucky Charms, my eyes light up. So, even now. But actually, what I learned from that is basically, if you wanted, like, I knew someone that was like, but I love like cookies and sweets, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, then just eat it for breakfast. And she was like, what do you mean? And I said, eat it for breakfast. You're gonna digest all of it, right? But not only that, let's be real. Like, how much sweets do you really want in the morning, anyways, compared to other times during the day? So
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you want to indulge and you're looking out for calories or whatever you usually eat in the morning will be burned off throughout the day. So, you know, there were times where, you know, I would, like I said, you'll have to talk to my son about it, but when he went through some hard times going between two households, you know, and there were times where he wanted something and I would just be like, hey, you know what? And he'd be like, what? And I said, let's do opposite day. Let's have our dessert in the morning. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So then we would have our ice cream and whatever in the morning because I already knew that he would digest it by the time that they arrived. And then just at nighttime, then we would have something light like fruit, you know, to finish our evening. And like I said, there's not a, I don't believe in like, oh, because, you know, everyone's like, oh, I got to follow this trend or that trend. And I'm like, no, you just got to try different things and figure out what makes you happy and what makes it work for you.
Right.
Because you're going to be different than anybody else, right? You know yourself the best. So if you know you're a stress eater, then figure out the root of your stress. What can I do to change about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that I could work on, something that I could let go of? Get up!
Let's go this way.
You know, as long as you're not one of those kids that like break a monitor or something, like I'm good, but stay. So, but yeah, no, I mean, like, if you figure out the root of the stress, right?
Yeah.
You have a higher chance of addressing it because I've seen people stress eat, right? And don't get me wrong, there are days where I'm just like, you know, I had a really bad day. I want some fried chicken.
I put one down.
But overall, like, if you evaluate yourself for your stress level, is it, could the stress be coming from a person? Then maybe take some time apart from the person, right? Or is it a work situation? Or what's a solution to help mitigate the stress so that you're not stress eating? And certain times, yeah, there's moments where it may not be fixable, but it's, you know, it's the matter of, okay, I know this is causing me stress. So what are some techniques I could do so I'm not like gorging and stuffing my face to alleviate the stress?
I'm not done yet.
Right.
Because then we could just enjoy food. You know, it's like, go and enjoy.
Over here.
Instead of it being like, okay, I just stress ate. Now I don't feel good, right? Because the problem's still there. If you don't address your stress issue, the root cause of it is still there. So then what are you going to do again? You're going to end up stress eating again. And is that healthy? No. But if, like I said, some people switching jobs help them, right? They were like, okay, I can't take this job anymore, but let me be smart about it. Let me figure out, like, let me try applying for different jobs, switch of a work environment. Or maybe for some people, like I said, never know if it's a person, maybe either talk with the person, work out a compromise, or move away. You just never know, right? So it's just more on how to handle those things so that you're not
Over here.
stress eating.
All right. What do you think about fasting?
Well, the thing is I know religions, they do fast, and but fasting for dietary purposes, most people don't realize it actually backfires on you.
Because you end up like eating more or gaining that weight right back.
Well, because here's the thing, right? Most people don't realize when you starve yourself, like I said, other than religious purposes or cultural purposes, because there are some customs and traditions and beliefs where it does require fasting, and that's understandable, you know? But if you were just an everyday person, you're like, okay, you know what? I just want to try it because I want to do this. When you starve your body, your brain basically, like, because how does our body communicate, right? These proteins, hormones, your body creates them. It's like a little message that gets sent, right?
Yeah.
So basically, your brain receives a message saying, we're not getting food.
Let's go this way.
So there is a concern for survival now because we're not getting food. So what's your body gonna do? It's gonna start going into fat creating mode. So let's say you fasted and then you started eating. Guess what? Your body is gonna try to convert as much of that food into fat.
Right.
Because now you basically told your body, hello, you might go into starvation mode. Think about the caveman days, you know, or like ancient tribes, where there are not times they had to starve because there wasn't enough food.
So your body will store it as fat, whatever you intake after that. Interesting.
Yes, because your body's just like,
it's in survival mode. It doesn't know when its next meal is gonna come, so it stores it. Okay, interesting.
It's gonna try to take whatever it can get to store, and most people don't realize, like, they look at fat and they're like, you know, and I'm like, no, your fat is actually necessary for our bodies because it's what helps cushion our organs. There's different reasons for fat, right? So if we're starving, there's no food, you know, your body will then go into that storage and burn the fat as like backup reserve energy.
Okay.
So that's why if you're not doing it for like a specific important purpose, then don't starve, because that's the reason why I said, like, listen to your body. Because some people, they need to eat throughout the day. So then sneak a handful, pack little things of snacks, you know, just to kind of keep your metabolism going. Some people, the metabolism might be slower. They might not need a bigger meal. But
right.
You just gotta get in tune with your body. No two people are gonna be completely alike in metabolism.
Be aware. Shooting here. Picking up an enemy sound here.
Interesting. I actually had no idea that your body would store that as fat if you like try to fast for like that long. I didn't know that.
Well, because it'll try, because you starved it. So the body's just like, oh shoot, we don't know when we're gonna get food, you know?
Right.
And whatever you eat, it's gonna automatically try its best to get as much fat out of it.
This way. 가자.
So then your body's storing fat. That's why, you know, I know there's people that think that, oh, if I starve, I'll lose weight, right? But once again, what kind of weight are you technically losing?
Right.
You know, is it water weight? But not only that, but when you fast, your body's not eating, so your muscle fibers are going to start deteriorating. Which, when you lose muscle, you technically, I guess, in a way, lose weight. Because
literally.
You're losing muscles heavy compared to fat.
Yeah, like if you're in the gym and you're trying to lose weight, it would go against your goals to fast because without food, your muscles aren't gonna grow.
Let's go this way.
Well, yeah, because I mean, what's a common way like to build muscle is when the fibers rip, right? Muscle fibers rip,
Yeah, yeah.
and it creates more muscle. And actually, the more muscle you have, technically the muscle does help burn fat because muscle will also utilize fat.
This way.
But it's more the question of, and that's why, I don't know, I just don't like how society has kind of put everything like in a box, right? They're like, oh, you got to lose weight, so you step on a scale, the numbers matter. And I'm like, no, you know, when they have a scale or like they have like those charts saying like fat percentage and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, but what ethnic group is it based off of?
This way. 가자.
A lot of them don't include bone density. There's different types of bone density. Like, for example, anyone of African descent will have a heavier bone density. Anyone of Asian descent will have lighter bone density. So if, let's say
That affects
someone of
weight?
African descent, yeah, let's say someone of African descent gained 5 pounds because their bone density is a lot heavier. Those 5 pounds may not really even feel like 5 pounds to them.
Interesting. Okay.
There's that heavier bone, right? Meaning
Right.
it could support them. But for an Asian to gain 5 pounds, those 5 pounds will feel like 10 pounds.
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
So that was one of the things, like, I noticed, like, the way society is now, everyone gets clumped into the same category, and I was like, you can't do that. I just feel like everything's backwards. I'm like, the places where it's supposed to be individual, they clumped, and then the places that should be grouped, they're not.
Right.
And I disagree with that because I'm like, no, you know, if you have heavier bone structure, then the scale for the body mass index should be catered to genetics, right? Like your ethnic group. If you carry any African descent,
Let's go this way.
then you have a heavier bone mass. It was back then when they made everything generic, and I was like, no, there's differences between men and women.
I'm not done yet.
There's differences between men and women. If you pay attention to, like, women tend to store fat, like lower hips, thighs, because they're biologically catered to, you know, basically have babies, right? And then you notice with men, where they tend to gain weight towards the belly, like the mid-torso.
Right.
You know, so it's like there's differences. And like I said, each person, I believe, yeah, so we all have similar body parts, right? We all have skin, we have hair, you know, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is, are we not each different as an individual? Are our behaviors, our mannerisms, our thoughts, they're all going to be different and unique, right?
Right.
So how we operate day to day, like what might help my body may not help yours.
I need to get back in.
You know, what trick might work for you might not work for me, right?
Let's go this way.
But the goal is to expand your knowledge, get creative, and try to figure out what really clicks for you. Like I said, for some people, when I suggested eating sweets for breakfast, they were like, what? And the funniest thing is, when they did that, they didn't eat as many sweets, but they learned to appreciate the sweetness in the morning, right?
Right.
Instead of trying to shove it all during the nighttime. But it also comes down to what is stressing you out. Is your stress affecting how you're eating? And if it's bad stress,
I'm not done yet.
then figure out a route and see if there's a possible solution. And if you're willing to go through with the solution, then is it not going to help your mind feel better? Then your body feels better. Then are you really going to sit there and want to gorge on a bunch of stuff? Not really. Now, are there moments sometimes where you're going to want to, like, gorge and eat? Yeah. Like, I remember those movies in the 90s where, like, you know, this is one where, like, a guy and a girl break up, right? So the girl's all meeting with her friends and she's gorging on ice cream, and then you see the guy, you know, talking to his guy friends saying, like, we're gonna go hit up the gym, you know?
Yeah.
That sort of thing, right? So there are moments like that where you can't avoid it, right? But the thing is that those moments, yeah, if you need to eat that ice cream, to at least let it go. If it's a solution, not a problem.
Let's go this way.
So eating that ice cream helped her cry, helped her release. So then it helped her overall. Okay. But if you're eating it and it's becoming a problem to where what it's affecting your health, right? You can't control it, or it's causing other issues, then that's where it's
This
not
way.
helpful. And that's where, once again, you go to the root. So it's just more trial and error, right? All of us are going to react differently. We're all going to feel differently. We might handle stress differently. But her hanging out with her friends, eating that ice cream was a benefit. It gave her what she needed at that moment in time to help her grieve.
Right.
So, I mean, small differences. Because you can't go through life avoiding stress. I mean, it's going to happen one way or the other, right? And there might be moments where it's just like, yeah, I have those days. I'm going to eat my fried chicken right now. So I'll enjoy, you know. It helps me de-stress, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. So then what will I do for the rest of the day? I'm like, oh, I feel good. I love the taste. It really helped me feel good. My body just needed that fatty and the oil and the crispy and the fried. I feel good. Now I'm gonna enjoy some veggies, maybe eat some fruits, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You can balance it out.
Over here.
I don't know if that helps, but at least, like I said.
No, I'm like talking to my chat as well, and they seem to really agree with you. All of them are just like, oh, I wish my mom was like this. So yeah,
I always worry. Like, that's the one thing. Like, I remember people used to tell me, and they're like, I was honest with them. I said, I don't have an opinion of myself as a mom.
Right.
Because the only person that's allowed to judge whether I'm a good mom or not is my child. But the only thing I can hope for is if my kid wakes up with a smile on his face and goes to bed with a smile on his face, then thank you. Maybe I did something right in between.
Right, yeah.
That's how I feel. Like, because, you know, if I personally feel parents are sitting there evaluating themselves or evaluating each other, and I'm like, but you guys are parents. Shouldn't you be asking your children what they think of you?
That's a good point, yeah.
For honest opinion, because I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh, you know, I'm a good mom or this. You know, I don't do that stuff. Why? Because that right falls to my son.
Over here.
If my son tells me I'm being a bad mom, then I will ask him, what can I do to fix it? Like, what can I do to help the point of view? Or if he says, you're a great mom, yay, I did something right today. It really, like, because day to day is going to be different, right? It's never going to be the same. And we're all going to have our ups and downs. We are two different people. You know, my son and I have those moments where we're like, I'm mad at you. I'm not talking to you right now. But then afterwards, it's just kind of like, hey, you hungry? Yeah. And then we'll start talking again. But the goal isn't to try to hold on to bad things. You know, like, you had a conflict, so you bumped heads. If you need space, take space. But then get back together if you guys love each other and say, okay, you know what? Hey, I'm sorry. And that's the biggest thing is how many parents actually apologize when they screw up. And I'm like, then what are you teaching your kid? If they screw someone over or make a mistake with someone, oh, that is okay to just sweep it underneath the rug. Now you hurt somebody else.
I need to get back in.
So I've always, even if I felt that it wasn't my fault, I always apologize to my son because I don't know
Let's go
what
this
I
way.
could have done, but clearly something I did upset him, right? He will explain to me what it is, but if he's super upset, I'll still apologize to him. Why? Because I'm the parent, you're my child, I need to be the bigger person. And I'm gonna say I'm sorry. Because how many of us have had moments where people did not say sorry to us when they should have? And where did that leave us? We did not enjoy that feeling, right?
Right.
So
Let's go
with
this
my
way.
kid, even sometimes, like, you know, and then he'll specify for me, like, there was a time I apologized. And he was like, no, Mom. He goes, you know what? I am sorry. Like, it had nothing to do with you. I was just being angry and I just lashed out. And we both agree. We're like, anytime afterwards, we always ask each other, what can we do to make our day better? Let's salvage our day. You know, if some jerk offs ruined our day, okay, but we're not going to live that way. I was like, let's go. That's why I always set aside treatsy money. Because if my kid ever has a bad day, I'm like, guess what? I got a little bit of treatsy money. May not be much, but let's just go get something. What would help you perk up? What would help you cheer you up? Because don't let what happened ruin your day. There's still time left before you go to bed. Why not enjoy it? Let's end on a good note, okay?
I downed one.
And it was really cute because as my son got older, sometimes when I had a bad day, he would come up to me and he'd be like, hey, Mom, I got some treatsy money. What would help you?
That's sweet.
Well, because it's a building block, right? If children and parents build that sort of relationship, then isn't it going to help the child when they're making friends or dating?
Right.
It's the biggest core to be there, is to learn not to let negativity linger, address it, deal with it, vent, let those emotions go,
Let's go
so
this
that
way.
you can make room for something more beautiful, more positive, and not let it ruin your day. So yeah.
I think that's important too, to establish that, especially like with your kids, because like bad days happen, bad things happen, and people screw up. You know what I mean? It's good to take responsibility, but also to heal from whatever happened or whatever you did. You know what I mean? So I think it's good that you can talk it out and get to the root cause of a lot of like problems.
Yeah, because even my son too, like, you know, he had a fish. And then, you know, that's the importance of having pets, isn't just, oh, just enjoy them, or, oh, they're like things to have around. No, they're also another living being.
Mm-hmm.
And you could actually, having pets
Let's go
and
this way.
teaching a child accountability, responsibility, dealing with consequences, you know? But also to learn that not everyone is going to understand the way you do or feel the way you do. And I remember when my son had his fish and the fish had passed away. So I would cry with my son. We would actually make a little coffin and we put a little cross. We would go and bury it. You know, but what did that teach him? If there's any big loss that comes in life, to grieve, but also to make happy memories of the fish.
This way.
You know, and because somewhere down the line, you know, like eventually, like when our family dog passed away, we did the same thing. You know, we grieved and we shared, you know, memories and we talked about it. Why? Because someday, you know, because I'm a firm believer in like parents should never be burying their children, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It should be the other way around. So someday, if it's my day to go, you know, that my son will grieve, but I want him to also cherish the happy memories, you know, and be able to let those emotions go so he's not living in the grief. And it's not easy, right? Because, you know, you love someone or you care, even caring about a dog. Because, like, for me, you know, I don't see any difference between pets and people. I will treat all of them like they're my children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my son also has the same view as well. They are part of family, right?
Of course, yeah.
But by doing that, it also teaches how to handle loss, how to handle grief, to not let it linger so long, but to also remember, okay, they're going to a better place now, and you'll get to see them again. So, doing things like that, because I don't know, I just feel like for my son, when I was raising him, he's my only kid, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Like, the first time I ever felt like genuine fear was finding out that I had a life inside of me, and I'm like thinking to myself, I don't know what to do, right? Like, there's that moment of panic, like, am I gonna be a good mom? Am I gonna be, and then all I could think about was, okay, let me go through my experiences, what to do, what not to do, right? But also, what else can I do? I could read, I could do research, and one of the biggest things that I believe in, because I noticed most parents, they try to raise their kids to be like them. And I'm like, no, my kid is going to be raised with freedom.
I like that.
Because my son is going to have his own personality. And, I read, I studied psychology, all sorts of stuff, and I realized, okay, there's a point where the child will imprint and want to copy you. So I let him go through that phase, and then eventually I got him to transition by saying, like, simple one, food, we were eating out. So my son would always pick the same thing I picked. And then when he was around 5 years old, I looked at him and I said, hey kiddo, you want to try something new? And he was like, what do you mean, mommy? And I was like, well, if I pick one thing and you pick something different, then we get to try two different for the same amount of money. And he was just like, huh. He was like, okay. And eventually that taught him how to come up with his own unique thing.
Right.
Like when he was little, he'd be like, mommy, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. And when he was around 5, like I said, one day he said that to me, and I said, wow, I love you so much. Thank you, kiddo. I'm very honored that you would say that. But you want to know what mommy thinks? And he was, what, mommy? And I said, I don't want you to grow up to be like mommy. I don't want you to grow up to be like daddy. I want you to grow up to be Ethan, because there's only one you in this world. Because each and every one of you guys are also unique, right? There's only one you in this world right now. There's not another. Even identical twins are different, are they not?
That is
so
very
each
true.
And every single one of you guys are unique. So that's why I always encourage my son to, embrace his own style, be his own person,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I like what you're saying. I'm also like interacting with chat, and like I said, they agree like wholeheartedly. A lot of these people are just like, I wish he was my mom.
Oh. Well, I always had a thing I always would tell my son, and whenever he would bring friends, I would always say, I will treat you no different than how I treat my own son.
And that's a good way to do it, honestly. Like it's almost like mi casa su casa when your when your son's friend comes over, something like that.
Yeah, because I always and even with his online friends too, like if they hit something, like, I mean, after all, are you not gonna deal with situations, right? So my son makes me laugh because he'll come running up to me and he's like, Mom, I need you to talk to so-and-so. And it just varies, right? It never hurts to ask, to get input. But I feel like what's really missing is a lot of accountability, responsibility, and knowing what the consequences are. And, I always told my son, I said, being a parent isn't easy. You know, children don't come with an instruction manual, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's parents who brought life into this world, and they are responsible. You can't sit there and point fingers, because I actually had a discussion with one of my other children, because I call them all my children. I'm like, you know, you guys are my kids. And, you know, like in regards to divorce, right? Either you're going to have two good parents, it just didn't work out, but they'll do their best, right, to uphold and try to create like a loving home, two homes, right?
Yep.
Or you're going to have one good parent, one bad parent, or worst case scenario, two bad parents, right? But the thing is that I noticed a lot of parents, like especially with divorce, they're so busy pointing fingers at each other, and I'm like, did you not think about your kids? Because I still remember when I went through my divorce, and my dad just looked at me, like everyone had their 2 cents, right?
Yeah.
But it was my dad. He's very, very wise. He just looked at me and said, you are mom, you are dad, double up the love. And there was a discussion because, you know, one of my children had said, you know, Mom, what happened wasn't your fault, you know, and whatever his dad did. But you cannot blame yourself for that.
Right.
And I told her, it's not that I blame myself. I know what he did on his end. But that still is not going to change the fact that my son has scars. And if I were to sit there and point fingers at him, I am wasting my time because my kid is still hurting and has scars.
Right.
So who is going to take accountability and responsibility for those scars to help him heal, to help him move forward? Well, obviously, if a parent does not give a crap, then it's clearly not going to be that parent. So the one that is left that actually genuinely cares needs to step up to the plate to help the child heal and move forward. Pointing fingers isn't going to solve the problem. Isn't that why the world's such a mess right now? Because you see everyone pointing fingers, even politics. They're
Literally.
pointing fingers at each other, and I'm like, that's not going to solve the problem. The problem is still there. Like, what is somebody doing to be productive to help find a solution? You know, I've seen, like, you know, parents blaming schools, schools blaming parents, and I'm like, okay, so y'all point fingers at each other all day. How about looking at yourselves and figure out, okay, what is wrong, like the schools, for example, what is wrong with our school system that needs to be changed? Or parents, what am I doing wrong so that, you know, so that things could change so that my child is in a better environment?
Right.
This way.
After all, technically, does it not fall on the parent to determine which school the child goes to? And I just feel like when people drop the ball on taking accountability and responsibility, then where does it leave you all? It leaves you guys without knowledge. It leaves you guys lost. You guys are now living in a world where information is everywhere, but how can you determine what is correct and what is not correct?
Yeah, I put one down.
You know, how do you even know? But where does it all trail back to? The parents. And, you know, like, I've had some discussions with some of my other children too, and I said no parent is perfect. And by saying, okay, you know what? Because, you know, there's this stigma of, oh, well, then I'm talking trash about my parents. No. You could have a loving parent, but there could be a misunderstanding that hurt you, and you feel hurt.
Yeah.
It's the same goes for the parent, right? There's moments where the child ends up hurting the parent's feelings. But the parent should be a bigger person and realize, okay, you know, not everything I did was correct. And it did hurt my child in the process. But how many parents acknowledge that? So then it gets dumped on the child to then figure out when they're older and realize, like, oh my gosh, I did carry scars for certain moments from my parents, because that's where it starts from, right? That's your initial environment. It doesn't mean you're saying good or bad. That's the whole point. Is, you know, I told some of the other children, I'm not judging your parents. I'm not saying
Over
this
here. Barricade.
for you to judge your parents. What I'm saying is you need to look at your parents' actions and learn from them.
Get that kid.
Because you can learn as much as the love your parents give you, but you can also learn from the mistakes they make. Because how many children right now in this world are carrying scars from their parents and repeating the same behavior
Right.
and carrying it forward? But how many of them are even realize where the root of the issue comes from?
Yeah, I put one down.
You know, and sometimes it could be a simple misunderstanding of like a childhood moment. Like there was, if you have multiple kids, let's say parents have multiple kids, you got siblings. Well, one day you had like a toy or something, and your parent grabbed it from you and said, "No, you're too old for that toy now," and gave it to your sibling. Will it not leave a scar in a young child because are there not memories of that toy? Then you had something taken from you and it got chucked over to someone else. Then as you get older, what is in your head, children are linear thinkers. They see what's in front of them.
Right.
So are they not always going to have the fear of, well, if I get something, I need to hide it or squirrel it because it might be taken away from me? When all the parents had to do is literally say, hey, you know, that toy of yours, would you like to share it with your sibling? It's like, sure, you guys could play with it together. And if you want, then, you know, mommy or daddy will buy you a different toy.
I'm not done yet.
Like a big boy toy or a big girl toy, right? And then the child will the child not be willing to then share with their siblings, right? It's okay, you could play with this truck now because I've got something else different, right? So there's ways to handle things in a better manner that doesn't leave scars. So now this kid is growing up and carrying the scar of if I get stuff taken away, right? And let's say the child were to address that and say, okay, you know what, like I realized like that it occurred from that moment. But did the parent truly mean any harm? But the parent did not realize how the child thinks. That was one of the biggest things on how I grew up. I realized a lot of parents forgot what it was like to be a kid themselves.
Yeah.
How they viewed the world, how they saw things. And so for me, I always kept a line of communication open with my son because I would ask him, I'd be like, how's your day, kiddo? How do you feel today? Or what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Why? Because then that's teaching him to be able to speak for himself and that his voice matters. And I would always tell him, if mommy does something that hurts your feelings, then you need to tell me. So then I could say I'm sorry and we could figure out something else. And I just feel like a lot of that's lost. You know, as I ran into more and more children and my son would introduce me, and I realized like a lot of it could be misunderstanding. Sometimes there's bad stuff that happens and it's just kind of like, end of the day, you know, it's what I told my one child that we were talking, and I had told her, I said, pointing fingers isn't gonna help. Because if your child is hurting, if you were a mother and your child is hurting, that child is still carrying scars, and you have to do something about it. Regardless of whether it was on him or not, in my situation, yeah, a bunch of it was on him. But I'm not going to sit there and point fingers. Instead, I just took accountability and
Right,
responsibility.
because that doesn't help the
After all-
child.
Yeah, well, because after all, did I not marry him? Yes. It was my decision. Yes. So I do hold some responsibility and accountability for my son being scarred, regardless of whether it was through his actions or not. The point is, I'm still his parent. And my kid is hurting, my kid is messed up, and he needs help. And that's what's really hard too, is with that accountability, responsibility, and consequences aren't there. Where does that leave all of you guys? Are you guys you know, some of you guys may be lost. Some of you guys may be confused. You know, it's like, how do you know which is which if those building blocks are not set?
Right.
And I also learned from my experience, you know, as a parent, you could try your best with everything underneath the sun, right? But sometimes there's just bad moments that happen, right? You cannot keep your child in a bubble forever. Either way, whether it be through bad parenting or, you know, school environment, you know, you guys will all be exposed to something bad one way or the other, unfortunately, right?
Right.
And if the parents aren't around, the only hope, because that's the biggest thing I also feel like parents drop the ball in, is they'll either give love or they'll just give discipline, but you need both. Because you have to not only raise the child with love, but also give them tools, because you never know if there's a day where you're not around. And the hope is that the child can use the tools and the experiences to help them get through whatever hardships come their way. And, you know, that's why I told my child, I said, you know, hey kiddo, you know, I do love you. We'll celebrate the moments. In moments where he needs to get called out on something, I will call him out on something. But I'm not going to do it in a nasty way. You know, I usually just point out to him, and then I would give him a scenario like, hey, but if you were treated that way, how would you feel? And then he would have to think about it. He goes, you know what? He goes, oh, that's true, Mom. He goes, you know what? I'll try better. Because there were times where I get frustrated with him because he wanted me to play some games so he would be teaching me, but I don't understand. But part of it is, if you're going to be a teacher, you have to figure out what clicks for the person, right? If the goal is at the end, you want this person to play this game, then don't you want to make it as fun and enjoyable as you can? But also explain in a way that the person gets it and wants to play.
Right.
So there were times where he would teach me, he was teaching me in a way that he saw fit, to where it clicked for him, and my brain does not work that way.
Okay, right.
And eventually, yeah. And so I would tell him, you need to dumbify it down for me like I'm 5 years old, kid. Because I'm not good with all the technology and all the fancy stuff that you guys have. So if you want me to play, you have to really be patient with me and repeat it a lot. And, you know, it took him several years because, like I said, he would get frustrated. And then, you know, I would try to play the game and I would give up on it. And, you know, but it takes time, right, to figure that out. So he eventually got me playing some games because he realized, okay, like, I need to change how I'm explaining things. Because after all, everyone here right now, like, we're all going to communicate differently, right?
Yeah.
We're all going to think differently. We're going to understand differently, right? But if people care about each other, like if you guys are friends, siblings, it doesn't matter, right? There's a form of a bond, right? And you really sincerely care about each other, then why not be open-minded and ask questions to help clarify things, or, you know, ask like, how does stuff click for you? You know, that's why with my children, I would point out things. If I notice things, I'm like, some people learn audio. So some people learn by hearing, some people learn by seeing, some people have to be hands-on. You know, some people can learn by reading. Some people are a combination. But if you guys aren't taught to be unique and individual and to truly get to know yourselves, if you guys are ready to be some other template, then how would you know that, right?
Right.
And not only that, but it would have saved a lot of trouble. A lot of stuff could have been prevented if a lot more parents were open-minded, because like I said, the children don't have to be born, right? There were parents who brought them in. So the whole point is that to understand where the child's coming from. What type of learner is my child? Like, how do they see the world? How do they feel? You know, getting to know them and help them be individuals. And then that way, you know, I ran into
I downed one.
another child that he was a visual and hands-on learner. Those were the two
Let's go this
combos.
way.
But how many schools actually cater to that kind of learning? Most schools are like, here's a slide, look at a screen, right?
Right.
Or crack open a book. But how would that help a child who is a visual hands-on learner?
This way.
When the child would actually have to see it be demonstrated, right? So then think about how many children fell through the cracks simply because their learning styles were not the norm by the school system. Then shouldn't it fall on the parents to then work with the child and say, okay, here, let me look at this material, let's try to understand it together. You know, or if the child still doesn't get it, okay, well, maybe I can hire a tutor, or maybe someone that could, you know, visually demonstrate or actually show physically so that my child could do it hands-on to understand.
Right.
Enemy noise coming from here.
Because then how many of you guys as of right now learn differently but went through so many poor experiences to where you guys felt stupid, you know, like you didn't fit in anywhere, when all that could have been prevented.
And yeah, that's like a crucial part in like a kid's life where I think like dynamically it's important to know this stuff, especially how you learn, you know what I mean?
Let's go this way. Got an upgraded shoes.
But how many people throw in their 2 cents now? So instead of being understanding, they're judges.
That's a good point, yeah.
You know?
Oh, well, I got it, so why can't you? Or, well, you're stupid then.
You know, I did not realize how much the world had changed while I was raising my son because, you know, I basically lived in my son's world.
Right.
빨리 가자.
You know, and I was basically a hermit because I spent a lot of time, you know, focusing on my son. Didn't really have too much of a social life for myself, in all honesty, which I didn't mind. I thought my son's world was super cool. And to me, it just amazed me, like, how my son thought, and I was like, wow, this is different. Or to see similarities of things and be like, wow, that is really cool. You know, I spent all that time doing that, and somewhere down the line, I just didn't realize how bad things were out there. And my son had told me, you know, he's like, Mom, you know, it's really bad. He's like, my generation is so screwed. Because I didn't even realize, like, people were that nasty to each other almost on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah.
It's like social media, like, my son was worried when I wanted to try out this game, and he was like, people are toxic, Mom. You know, they're really nasty. He's like, I don't want you to deal with toxic people like that. And it was really nice because some of him and his friends would actually make accounts just to help me out and kind of level on things. And, you know, since I'm not into all that technology, like, I usually don't answer chat in some of the games, you know.
Yeah.
But they told me it's that toxic. And I'm just like, it's pretty sad. And, like, sometimes my son would show me, like, I remember when YouTube first came out, there were a lot more nice things, right? You could actually learn a lot of things. It was really cool to actually have access to music videos that you couldn't see back then in my day. And my son told me, like, now there's like a bunch of people just making fun of each other, you know, being cruel to each other, basically. And that's like the norm, and that's the sense of humor now. And I'm just like, that's sad.
Yeah, and it's been normalized.
Yeah, and I'm like, so what kind of world is that? Which indicates, you know, how many children weren't properly taught things or taught to value themselves, that it's okay to be their own unique person, you know, and instead all these children are following a trend, like, and it's just crazy to me how the rumors and stuff, like without facts, get spread around. Like, I just thought it was crazy. um um I'll give an example. Like, one of them brought up in regards to STDs and things like that, and I'm just like, you do realize that that sort of protection doesn't cover all of them,
Right.
that the pores are still small, the viruses are still small enough to go through the pores. Like, did you read the fine print? And mind you, the child, like I said, I call them all my children, even though my kiddo's in his 20s, because once you're my child, you're forever my child.
Mm-hmm.
You could be 70 years old and be a man, but you'll always still be my child. Some people had issues with me for saying that. They were like, oh, he's a man. I said, no, that's not my point. He will grow and be an adult man. But you see, I carried him in my womb. And no matter what, we will always be mother and son. So therefore, he will always be my child. He may grow up to be a man, but he'll always still be my kiddo, even if he's 70 years old.
Right. I think it's so funny that people have a problem with that. Like, if this isn't even your family, what do you? Why do you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but some people were like, oh, but you spoil him and baby him. Is that what I'm doing? The thing is each child's going to require something different, right? And I noticed how fast they were to judge.
Right.
And I was just like, you know, don't you think you kind of need to assess the situation first before you open your mouth and say anything? But I've noticed that. And I've heard a lot of viewpoints and experiences from not just, you know, my son, but from the other children as well. And I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I always apologize. I said, you know, my generation failed yours. You know, I honestly wish I could do more, but I can't. And all I could offer is tiny words of wisdom that I learned from other people through their experiences, you know?
Yeah.
And give you guys pearls, because you guys are living in a world full of cogs and not all of them are properly put together.
I agree.
But the pearls are truly precious because they're the wisdom that you gain from the experiences. So even if you guys have all that technology, certain behavioral traits are the same regardless of generation, right? After all, like, you guys start off as children, maybe you guys dealt with bullies. I mean, those have existed every generation, right?
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone mean, there's going to be someone nice, or maybe the first time where you're like, oh, I have a crush, or, you know, go out on a date, or graduate, right? Those are all common things regardless of technology, environmental changes, and generations. And that's where the real pearls are at. And that's why I always encourage my children, like, when elders speak, listen to them. They've lived for decades. Don't interrupt them and say, oh, well, I know, or Google has that, and I already know this. I'm like, no, let them speak. Even if you hear the same thing, there might be something new that you could learn from it, right?
Yeah. I agree, but also I do have a little. Well, see, like, the world changes though, and I feel like a young person, like, I think you mentioned this before, we talked before, but a young person just has a different outlook on life, and you can learn a lot from young people too. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So I think
But
the
that's the
respect
thing.
definitely needs to go both ways.
Well, of course it does. But since you're the younger generation, that's why I said listen to your elders. What do you think I tell elders?
Listen to the youth.
Yes. Yes.
A wise man once said, "I don't know a thing," or something like that.
Yep, because I told my son, you know, when he would say, "Mom, mommy, you're like smart." I told him, "No, child, I'm not smart." I told him I was always willing to learn. I told him everything I have in my head, child, is from other people that were kind enough to teach me. And I learned it from them all. Some of the most coolest shit I learned from 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds that carry the most amazing outlook, creativity, the strength, positivity, the resilience, amazing. From the elderly, I learned experience, life wisdom, what to keep an eye out for, the good and the bad, right?
Right.
Everyone has something to offer. That's why I even told my son, you know, I even learned things from homeless people. People have this whole thing about reputation and status. Oh, well, you know, the doctor knows it all. And I'm like, you know what's the craziest thing? Some of the best medical knowledge I learned weren't from doctors. You know?
You can learn something from anybody.
Exactly. And that's why I told my son, you know, listen, because you have 2 years to hear and 1 mouth to speak.
Yep.
So for me, I learned many different things, whether it be from someone who worked flipping burgers, a janitor. I didn't care. For me, as far as I'm concerned, people are people. A doctor is no different than a janitor.
I know, and this is
Because
kind of a
both can
bitter
bring
like
wisdom.
this is kind of a bitter way to look at it, but I like there's always two sides to a coin, and how like you should listen, you should also watch, because some people are vindictive and they have ulterior motives, and you have to use your eyes, because actions speak louder than words, and some people are literally trying to use you, take your money, or for anything, you know what I mean? Some people
But is that not
have bad
still a lesson to
intentions.
be learned?
Right.
Like that interaction, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone has something to learn. My dad said that to me. He said to me, he was like, you can learn equally from a good person, just as equally from a bad person. So I remember, you know, like there were some people, because I used to help out people too as well. Like if they got scammed, you know, I would teach them the red flags. Some of them felt ashamed. And I said, it's okay to feel ashamed, but don't live ashamed. Because
Right.
the thing is, you didn't know. And not only that, but that's where the law should have stepped in. Our government should have stepped in to nip these people in the bud. But what I want you to focus on, instead of feeling ashamed, is focus on, hey, wait, but I dealt with a scumbag. Now I know how scumbags work. After all, did you not go through the entire process of getting scammed? So now you can see little gimmicks that they use. Okay, you know what? So instead of living in shame and feeling like stupid,
Learn from
because
it.
you should never feel stupid when it happens. After all, don't we all get deceived every once in a blue moon? Yes, we do. But the thing is to take that moment, instead of living in the feelings and emotions, to be able to say, okay, you know what, I feel ashamed, but what can I do on my end as a consumer who truly believed and put my trust in somebody or a company that did not honor what they said that they would do? What are things that I could learn from them? Because clearly the law did not do anything about them, right?
Yeah.
That they did this to many. So then you can go back and evaluate. Okay, well, this looks like this. Oh, wow. They imitated my home insurance company logo. So then what can you do? Be proactive. Turn it into your home insurance company. You know? I remember there was one time I got a text, because I'm with T-Mobile. I really do love T-Mobile. Here's the reason why. Not as much as that they don't make mistakes, but that when there is something wrong, they will automatically acknowledge it and they will work on fixing it. That's why I like them. because no one's gonna be perfect, right?
They're forthcoming
there was a
whenever they
time-
mess up.
Yeah, even when they mess up, but there's always someone that is willing to fix it. That's what I appreciate, you know? So there was a time I got a text, and then I was about to reply to it, like, you know, click on the link. And then I took a step back because I did end up clicking on the link because my finger slipped. And then I realized, like, wait a second. And I realized some fraudulent person had literally duplicated the T-Mobile website. But the only slight difference was they literally imitated the whole website. They sent the text, you know, with the same numeric code, but there was a weird dash between, right?
Okay.
So I ended up calling T-Mobile, and actually what was crazy, because I've been through other phone companies too as well, but what amazed me was they actually said, do you have screenshots of it? Can you please send that to us? Because we want to make sure that this doesn't affect anybody else.
And that's T-Mobile,
So-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know many phone companies that say, "Yeah, can you actually inform us on what's actually going on so we can make sure this doesn't happen to other people?" I mean, that would make me feel like they care for sure.
Yes. And here's the thing, right? It's a company. You're going to have bad employees, good employees.
Right.
You know, it's the same. But the only reason why I stayed with them for as long as I have is because they were willing to fix if there was something wrong. They were willing to work with me instead of flat out trying to deny. Like I said, I've had AT&T, Cricket, Verizon. You know, I've gone through those companies, and I'll tell you what, I will never ever go back to them because certain lines they crossed, and I said nope. That I will not ever do again. But that's the thing too, is that what one person may experience might be different for another. You know, and I remember back then, for example, when somebody wanted to buy a car and they just wanted other people's input, right? So back then we would always tell them, like, I personally like this car, or I like that car for these reasons. But the one thing we would always say is, you know, but remember, you know, always test drive, because what you might like might be different than what we like. And as long as you're happy with it, you know, that's all that counts. But the world has changed now. I actually heard these people arguing, like, I'm not even joking, arguing, when somebody asked the same question. And instead they were like, well, no, I like this better because of this, and this is what you should get. And they were arguing. They're like, well, that's a piece of trash. And next thing you know, they're all arguing. I'm looking at these people like, the person just asked for your opinion, right? End of the day, it's their choice. But why turn it into an argument? Oh, but this one's better than the other. That one's better than the other. And I'm looking at all of them like, wow. What happened to respecting each other's opinion and the understanding that not everyone's going to have the same experience?
Right.
You know, so it's little things like that that I realized, like, I told my son, I am so sorry for the world you live in today, kid. You know, people are throwing in their 2 cents, they're judging. No one hardly is understanding, at least from what I've heard from the other children as well. And I'm just like, but I told my son, as frustrating as it is, you know, I said, you try your best to understand. If you need to walk away from toxic people, walk away. You don't need to deal with them. In regards to if it's work, then figure out a solution, you know?
Yeah.
Hold that anger in. Figure out a solution. Maybe put in a request. Maybe I don't want to work with this person, or could I just do this instead? You know, explore your alternatives. Because the thing is, you can't control other people. You know?
Yeah.
You can only control what you can handle. And hopefully, you know, your workplace is a place where everybody does their jobs and works together. That's all you can hope for sometimes, you know?
Right.
But that's the thing, is a lot of these people have a mindset of everyone's got to do it this way, or this is what's it, or, you know, and I'm shocked. I'm shocked at how much individuality has gone down the toilet.
Right? Oh my gosh. And it feels like a lot of people want to fit in rather than fit out in a way. And it's like, what's so wrong about being yourself? What's so wrong about standing up for stuff that you believe in? And what's so wrong about being different or unique? I don't think people like want to be different because they're scared of being judged. And like people are quick to judge, but you should be quick to be yourself. You should be quick to fall back on your roots and like honestly embrace family, embrace love. People like are so quick to judge, and it like I think it like breeds hatred in people, or it breeds a sense of less individuality for sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. It's
Okay.
just you went soft, but I heard what you were saying. And yes, it's true because I remember my generation, like when I went to school and stuff, we were taught that, you know, you have to accept other people's ideas equally as valid as your own,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we were taught, like, to be yourself because somewhere down the line you'll meet somebody that will accept you for you, you know, whether it be friends or coworkers or at school, you know.
Yeah.
We weren't taught to be like somebody else. And of course, you know, if you think about the school environment, there's always those kids, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That, you know, like set up a trend or have everyone follow and then people follow. And that was the thing is I told my son, bluntly put, I did not raise you to be nobody's bitch. I raised you to be you. So don't ever be a follower. Be a leader for yourself, not towards others.
Right.
You know, and I just feel like thinking back about every year of my son's life, I would always go back and think about my experiences around his age. And the older he got, I realized, you know, my son was like, Mom, I just wish I had a time machine. And some of the my other children were the same way. They were like, I really wish I lived during your time because people suck. You know?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I think it is a generational thing because I just feel like the social media is like the culprit. If I had to, you know, make an assumption, I think that a lot of people feel like brazen in saying mean and hurtful things or acting in certain ways simply because they're doing it behind a screen.
Yes, but who has the authority to nip that in the bud?
Parents.
Yes. Because regardless of, even if a parent doesn't know technology, if your child is using technology, then shouldn't the parent at least learn? That's the thing is, you know, my dad and my mom, I respect the two of them. That's one of the things, positivities, you know, because every culture's got its good, bad, and ugly, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing I do respect about Korean culture is that they literally have a saying. When you bring life into this world, your life is no longer yours. The life you brought into this world needs to come first.
Right. You must be selfless, not selfish.
Yes. Yes. Because you brought that life in. You are responsible, and you better damn well make sure that this child is provided for and has the tools to have a better future than what you have. Because that is your responsibility. So, with my son, as much as I wasn't good at technology, I still tried.
Right.
You know? But one of the biggest things that I'm thankful for is that no matter how much difficulties my son and I have faced, you know, he will always tell me what's going on in his world.
That's really good actually. Because like I mean, for a long time, I would refrain from telling my parents important stuff about me. Like they didn't know any of the bad stuff I was doing. They didn't know anything because I was scared they were going to judge me. And when I say they're quick to judge, they're also quick to quick to judge, honestly. And like I may be in the wrong, but I don't even trust them to like respond in a proper way.
Well, I was the same way too. That's one of the reasons why when I was raising my son, and I thought, okay, what can I do to change that? Because I have seen scenarios where parents got a call from the cops to ID a body.
Right.
And that's one of the things for me was just, okay, if I could just tell my child no matter what, I don't care how badly you screwed up, please come to me. Because then I can help you take accountability, responsibility, and we can deal with the consequences together. And that's why as he was getting older, I said, you know, sometimes I'll like tell him, you know, well, you're now going through these changes and you might have this. And then my kid looks at me. It's okay, Mom. The school already explained it. You don't gotta worry about explaining it, Mom. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah, the school taught me this. And then I said, well, did they explain this? And he was like, yeah, Mom, they did. And I was like, oh, okay. So then there came a day where I said, you never know, you might want to like go to a party or something. There might be alcohol there. And if that's the case, just please let me know where you're at. So if you need a ride, please tell me. I will come and get you.
Right,
you know?
like even if you make a bad decision, I want you to be comfortable enough to tell me so I can help.
Yes, and that's what I told him, because I told him I'm not here to judge you. I said, don't think for a split second. You know, I haven't done stupid shit in my life, you know?
Yeah.
I said, please just tell me. You know, and he just looked at me and he laughed. He was just like, hey, Mom, you know, my friends think you're chill, so they're gonna be throwing a party. You'll probably be invited too, so we're okay, Mom. And you just give me a ride home. And I was just like, oh, that's why I'm so thankful he's a gaming nerd. And, like, most parents are so against games, but I'm
Right.
like, you can actually learn from the games. Like, I believe that the games are sometimes even better than the freaking school system. Because my son has gone through some crappy school systems, like really crappy school systems.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he learned more morals and values out of games and more skill sets out of games than he did when in some of the schools that he had gone to. You know, and I've always supported him on that. Because that's the thing is, as a kid, if you see other kids doing something, right? You know, are you not going to want to do it too?
Yeah, kids are impressionable.
I mean, like I said, I'm in my 40s, and darn, if I see those Lucky Charms, I'm like, ooh, I love those Lucky Charms, right? You kind of carry it with you, you know? So that's one of the things is I never deprive my son of things. And like I said, I try to make it as a more start off early, right?
Yeah.
So then he figures out right and wrong. You know, I don't know if I told you about this when my son refused to wear a jacket and it was snowing outside.
Yep. And then he ended up getting a cold.
Yes. And we all got sick and he apologized to me. But that's the thing is, you know, providing that experience will then help him make better decisions in the future. And I would rather he makes as many mistakes as he can while he's young before he becomes an adult where the consequences are really heavy.
Right.
And it may be hard to recuperate from.
And then they're learning how to make decisions for themselves. And they're learning, like a pattern recognition, like this is a bad decision. I should not do this again.
Yes, and I would much rather he do that while there's not as heavy of a consequence.
Yep.
Than when he becomes an adult and the law gets involved, right? And that's one of the things why I just appreciate, you know, in regards to him being a gaming nerd, you know, most parents are like, where the hell's my kid? More like, I know where my kid's at. I can hear him play right now.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's like, you know, it's like once a kid goes to college, once a kid starts hanging out with all of these kids from public school who don't have proper, like, parenting, they are exposed to a lot of degenerate and harmful things. I would rather have my kid just at home playing video games where I'm not stressing. Like, is he out doing drugs? Like, literally.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things for me, like I said, is whatever he wants to do, whatever he wanted to tinker with, I didn't care. Whatever he wanted to do when he was a kid, I was just like, oh, well, you want to play baseball? Okay. No
Yeah.
problem. Into baseball you go, right? If you want to swim, swim. Okay, you want to do ballet, tap dance, you name it. My child did it. Because I wanted him to be able to explore and understand, you know, that you can do the things you want to do, you know?
Yeah.
And for him to feel good about the choices that he makes. And then, like I said, the whole jacket thing. Or the time when he flushed my laptop in the toilet. Oh, that was quite a doozy. I kept Calvin and Hobbes away from him for a while. So that's one of the things is, you know, I told my son, I said, a wrong only stays a wrong if you do not acknowledge or learn from it.
Yeah.
A wrong will become a mistake when you acknowledge it, you learn from it, and you deal with the consequences. But all I see in this world is all these wrongs. People don't take accountability, responsibility, nor do they deal with the consequences. And then I see you guys trying to grow, be individuals, trying the best you guys can do. But it's like everything else is so screwed and messed up. And that was one of the hardest things for my son too. It really hurt him. He was like, Mom, you know, my world is different than how your world was when you were my age.
Yeah.
And I just told him, I said, well, kid, I know we're gonna be going through some rough times ahead, but I pointed out to him. I said, you have a choice in life sometimes, right? Maybe you could pay a little bit forward. Maybe if someone listens, understand that for as much as you have your scars, kiddo, so do others. And maybe in the process of talking, maybe you guys can all work on letting go of the scars. Because, you know, I pointed out that you guys might not even be able to tell a good person or a bad person or an evil person, right? Worst case scenario, right? Unfortunately, there are those who figure it out and it's too late and the consequences are too high. And I'm like, you can't even tell what's real, what's fake, you know, what's genuine, what's not. And I said, all these scars you guys carry, you guys bottle it up inside when emotions are an expression of our bodies. It's okay to feel the way you feel. But what's not okay is to live in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I just told my son, I said, maybe, you know, as you go through your scars, I said, you could turn your scars into something beautiful to help other people with their scars. Also realize, like, hey, it hurts. Let's deal with it. Let's grieve with it together. But let's turn it into something beautiful.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping it ugly. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. So what does lemonade require? Some sugar. So I've always told my son, love is what's needed the most. Love isn't a weakness, it's a strength. If somebody views the love as a weakness, you either have an opportunity to make a change to help them change their perspective, or you can walk away.
And like honestly, I think that I'm still talking in chat and stuff, so that's why like I'm that's why I sound quiet for some of it. But I think that like having trust in like I didn't really trust myself to even navigate those type of situations properly, honestly, and it's because I just don't think I had enough experience going like making making mistakes for myself and learning from them. I think that like I was kind of like a very sheltered kid with strict parents until I went to college, and then that's when I started making my decisions. I didn't really like do it when I was younger. I didn't have the opportunity to learn from my mistakes when I was younger because I wasn't in positions to do that. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
Very, very sheltered, very strict parents. That's kind of how I grew up.
Oh, same here.
So like I made all of my bad decisions in college where like the law I could have got in trouble with the law. Thank God I didn't. But I mean, I think that like also when I made those decisions, I wasn't equipped with any anything to. I think you know what I'm trying to how I'm trying to say it. You know what I mean? I wasn't equipped with the know-how.
You didn't have the whole picture, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't know how to get to the whole picture before you made the decision. But that's the thing is your experience is also a unique opportunity, learning, and a tool. Because after all, who hasn't been there? Even people in their 90s still go through that.
Right.
And instead of looking at it as a formula, because what's this whole world taught? What were you guys taught? Oh, well, it's like this, or it's just like this, or it has to be like this, or this is how it is. To tap into that inner child and be like, no, you know, everybody's different, right? Solutions might be different. And who's to say that your experience may or may not help others? You don't know that, right? And that's one of the things that I had told my son in regards to you, is that I respect him for being open and being able to talk about some of the things that he did. Because there are going to be some people out there that carry their own scars and may hear you speak and be like, whoa, you know, I did do that. Because there's no shame in realizing, okay, you know what, I've made a mistake. But look at what society does. Oh, you're wrong. Rub it in. And then what? Point fingers. Sweep it underneath the rug. I'm like, that's a behavior of a 5-year-old. That's not a behavior of an adult.
Yeah, literally.
You know, and you see, like, even for me, seeing like 65-year-olds behaving like 5-year-olds. And I'm like, you know, something is seriously wrong with this world. Something went downhill during the time while I was raising my child. And, you know, and that's the world you guys have to deal with, which is unfortunate. But I believe that for every person you guys may meet, whether it's good or bad, right, that you guys have opportunities. So the world is bad right now. Then you guys can work on gathering knowledge on the bad, but also learn that goodness does matter. And each and every single one of you guys do have some good in you. Like, don't let other people dictate that. You know, how many people are like, oh, but, you know, I was too kind and people squashed me, so this is why I'm cold, right? But perhaps change your perspective and say, okay, you know what? My kindness is so precious. I'm going to guard it. I'm going to build a fucking moat around that bitch. Because my kindness is precious, and only those who earn it will receive it. Will I be polite? Will I be courteous? Yes. But first, when I meet someone else that's also kind, then I will give my kindness too. If I gave my kindness and it turns out it was the wrong person, okay, you know what? That's okay, because they did not appreciate my kindness. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn from this person. So the next time I see red flags like that, then I'm going to learn. Don't give everything all at once. Because respect is earned. Kindness you can give, right? But to learn that your kindness is precious.
I have a down up here.
It is not something to be thrown around
He's resing
left and right all over the street. Because if you know that you're kind, that you can get hurt. It does hurt when people stomp on you and screw you over. But don't squash that kindness of yours. Let it grow, but protect it well. And take the time and patience to get to know somebody as you release some of that kindness little by little at a time. And perhaps then you'll meet a good person that is also kind, and you guys could create that bond. Whether it be friends, you know, friends, family, significant other. That's the thing is, I feel like a lot of how you guys were all raised is instant gratification, right? It's gotta be now. It's gotta be now.
Right, yeah.
Somewhere down the line, patience is gone. But that's the thing is, if you know you're truly kind at heart, and you know you're a giving person, then take the time to get to know people around you. Determine, is this person really a friend? Because is this how I would treat my friend? And if that person isn't it, then you're gonna put them at an acquaintance level, as in, I may enjoy hanging out here and there, but I'm not gonna put my whole heart into this person.
Right, right. And I feel like a lot of kids aren't true to themselves in the fact that, like, okay, you're hanging out with this person because you want to fit in, because you think it's cool, but what do you believe in? Do you think this is actually right? And you gotta ask yourself those questions, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Because, you know, here's the thing about fitting in. Are you truly going to be happy? You're not going to get to be yourself. And then you wonder why you get angry, why you get frustrated, why you get sad. Because then the people aren't validating you for who you are. And one of the biggest things I always told my son, you know, it was funny, because when I asked people this question, I said, there is only one person in this world that you should never lie to. And then some people would say God, or, you know, and I said, nope, the answer is yourself. And here's the reason why. Even if you're religious and you believe in God, if you lie to yourself, how can you be honest to God?
That's a good point, yeah. If you're lying to yourself, you're probably lying to everybody around you.
Yes. Then if you lie to everybody else around you, because you're lying to yourself, then you're not going to show anybody else who you truly are. Then you wonder why people are in unhappy marriages, because they put not themselves forward, but they created this persona hoping this other person would like them, right? Then they get married. Are you really going to carry that persona through the marriage? No, you're not. Are you going to feel validated? No. Are you going to feel loved? No. Because you gave the illusion of a different person to the person you're married to. Or if you're in a relationship, right? You give this illusion. And, you know, a lot of people do it to avoid rejection, but I'll tell you what, rejection has been part of every generation, regardless of what technology or how much the world has changed. Rejection is a part of life. But how many parents taught their children how to handle rejection? After all, if you go to school, somebody doesn't want to be friends with you, of course you're going to be hurt. But a lot of parents forgot that children, they want to please. After all, children give unconditional love, do they not? So then are they not going to want to change to try to make friends with everybody when they're young?
Right, right.
So then that should have been nipped in the bud and be taught, okay, well, some people are different. Sometimes, honey, you know, just try with everybody and then see who actually wants to be your friend. Then that's your friend. Or if you don't have any friends at school, like, because my son was different, so he didn't have a lot of friends. So then, you know, what I would do is take him outside, clubs or things like that, or different programs, you know, so he could meet other people.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that, you know, not everyone's gonna like you in life. But the goal isn't to focus on, oh, not everyone likes me, like majority of your generation has been taught. The goal is basically, hey, let me just be open and let me keep an eye out. It's like fishing, right?
Yeah.
You finally find the one that you want, or the one that you want to catch. It's the same concept, you know, that basically you go out there, you put yourself out there. So if people don't click with you, then you're like, okay, you know what? They don't jive with me. That's okay. It sucks. I feel hurt, but that's okay. I'm gonna keep on trying until I find the one that I jive with. You know? And it's even like, let's give an example. Like I said, my son's a gaming nerd, right?
Yeah.
There's tons of gaming nerds, but there's some that you're gonna be able to connect with more than others. There's some that you're gonna be able to flow better with others. Is that so bad? No. But if children are taught to focus on negativity, then that's all they're gonna focus on is something's wrong, something's not right. Maybe it's me that's the problem. Then how are they truly gonna be themselves?
Can you get up on height?
But if they're taught to love themselves, but also to understand that not everyone may feel the same way, does it not give them an opportunity and a chance to keep trying until they find somebody that they click with? My dad had said, if you have one true friend in your life, you are blessed. If you have more than one, you are lucky. But how many young people, like I had one that tried to tell me that there's different levels to friendship. I'm like, excuse me, no. Either you're a friend or you're not. If you're not really a friend, then you're an acquaintance.
Right.
You know? Because what is a friend? Someone who genuinely cares about you, that isn't blood related. But are friends not like family, like genuine friends? Now, people change, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the other things, too, is that people can change. You know, people are going on their own paths. People come and go. That's something my son learned recently, and he finally told me, he's like, because, you know, some people that he thought were friends, and then they changed, and, you know, he had to deal with the loss, you know, and he finally had clicked to him. He just said, you know what, Mom? He goes, you know, you were right. You know, people do come and go.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm just going to enjoy the good moments that I had. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay, because I'll make more friends. You know?
There's no way I could have got
And he
you.
he realized that, because people are always changing, are they not? Some people change for the worse. Some people change for the better. And it's up to each individual to decide how much they want to put up with, meaning know your limits, know when to walk away. And that comes from honesty. You have to be honest and true to yourself.
Okay.
Because if you're not honest, then you're just gonna deal with what? Continual
How is that possible to
unhappiness,
fight?
sadness, having to try to be like somebody
You
else.
can't fight
Why do that?
Right, right.
And it's the same thing for relationships. You know, I talked to one child and he was nervous because he likes a girl. He was like, well, I was going to try to do this. And I was just like, listen. Because my son was like, here, talk to my mom. She'll give you good advice. So you know what I told him? I said, be yourself. Because if this girl happens to like you better and you're being fake, how long is that? If you genuinely like this girl and she happens to genuinely like you, don't you think it's a lot smarter to just be yourself?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work out with a girl, there's plenty of other fish in the sea. It's no different for girls too. It's the same concept. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. The goal is to be yourself and find somebody that will genuinely like you for you. And there's a quote actually I ran into today that was really good. I was actually like, wow, I really like that quote. And it was like, we must live as you and I, we must live like there is no you and I.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning, because here's the thing. right? When you meet people or people talk about you, right? Most people, they have an assumption. That's how this world is currently crappy, is because people make assumptions, right? So if you want there to be a we, there has to be no you and I, as in there has to be no assumptions. Meaning when you meet someone, start over from scratch. Don't go off of what other people say.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Get to know them for yourself. So to make things truly last, there must be as if there is no you and I.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
My my current best friend Tegan, Bob knows him.
Yeah.
His brother says he's like a demon child, and then I got him in one of my classes, and now we're just best friends.
And that's the
He's
thing
not actually
is,
like evil.
yeah, I mean, people have their opinions, right? That was one of the things, like, my son was, like, really surprised, right? Because my dad and I get along. My mom and I don't. And my son was like, if you two didn't get along, because he was like, I would have taken your side. And I was like, that's the whole point. I don't want you to do that. Because your relationship with her is your relationship with her. My relationship with her is my relationship with her. Just because she and I don't get along doesn't mean that you and her wouldn't get along, right?
Yeah, right.
And that's what people forget. And that's why, you know, I noticed a lot of the drama that your generation goes through is like, oh, but she's my this person's my friend, and they do something wrong, then they talk behind everybody's back, trying to get all the friends to be on their side. And that's one of the things is my son has gone through that, right? Where he had everybody turn on him just because of one person that did not tell the truth, right?
Right.
And everybody turned on him. Then I pointed out to my son after we grieved together that I told him, I said, but you gotta remember, kiddo, if they're that willing to take one side over the other, then they're not really your friends. Because would you not have listened to both sides? And he said yes. Would you have picked one over the other? No. Because I would have still been friends with them both. Unless they did something to me. And people forget that. You know, I remember there was a toxic player in one of the games that I was playing. And that's the thing. You know, and some of my children were indignant. They were like, no, you can't just let this person do that and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no. Because they're like, you got to do something. And I said, no. I said, that's okay. Don't got to do nothing. They're like, but the person's saying bad stuff about you. And I was just like, that's okay.
Let them talk.
Like, what do you mean? And I pointed out to them. I said, you know, my dad always said that bad people are like cockroaches. You let one into your life, then there will be more, right?
Yep.
And so, of course, I told them. Back then, when I dealt with some bad people, it did hurt me, right? Because then they turned everybody against me, and it really hurt. And one day I realized, wait a second. Then they really weren't my friends at all to begin with. So I should actually be thanking this bad person because they just cleaned up house for me. So then I could just meet new people and make better friends. So I told the children and they were surprised. And I said, yeah. I said, then I'll know who my friends really are and who my friends aren't. Based off of this one person running their mouth. And sure enough, I figured out who were my friends and who weren't. And it's that simple. And, you know, that's the hard part. When you first go through something like that, of course it's gonna hurt. But that's why I told my son, mindset is everything. If you can learn to change your perspective, then things will be different. So I basically told my son, you, like I said, not everyone's gonna like you. And there's gonna be malicious people that'll talk trash about you. So if people are that dumb enough to not get to know you as a person, Because it's one thing to get to know you as a person and then say, okay, you and I don't click, right?
Yeah.
Then respect that person for their honesty. Move on. But if people are that dumb enough to just follow somebody off of what somebody else says without validating and checking out facts for themselves, are those really people you want in your life? You want someone that's going to get to know you for who you are. Someone that's going to have your back, not for your mistakes you succeed. They'll have your back, support you, but they'll also support you when you make a mistake and they call you out on it, not in a negative manner, but in a positive manner to say, hey man, you messed up. You might want to do a recheck, right? And here's a suggestion. So I told my son, in regards to people like that, let him just talk. You'll figure out who your friends are and who aren't. And if none of them are your friends, move on. Let them go. Because is it really worth your time? That's why I was telling my son, like, you know, all these people, social media, oh, I have 1 million friends. Are they really your friends?
Got the banner. I'm not giving up on them.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And what sort of genuine friendship or any sort of relationship are you gonna get when it's just a number on a screen? How about taking the time to have in-depth conversation? Or, you know, that's the joy of technology, right? That's what I told my son. I said, yeah, everybody knows the bad side of technology, but the good side is, if you don't have friends in your immediate area, the technology at least allows you to give you a bigger opportunity to make friends outside of the area.
Right here, right on. Go up.
And who knows, maybe as you get a job and you guys still stay friends, you guys could then visit each other and meet each other in person.
The Wraith was a smurf. He didn't miss.
I literally tried to hit it and it rezzed you 2 times.
The Wraith
So
was
that's
a
why
smurf.
I
He didn't
do
miss a
see
bullet on me.
pros and cons with technology,
I literally
right?
tried to
The
hit
cons
fucking
is a
zip
lot of
twice.
He hit me
people would
104
also
and then
utilize
hit
it
two almost perfect
for their
shots.
own needs, right?
Yeah.
But there's also good in
He gave me like
technology
50,
because,
80,
I
which
mean,
is
shoot,
crazy.
you're all the way in North Carolina. We're here in Colorado. You and my son play games, right? You guys enjoy, have a chill, down-to-earth chats. And then who knows, maybe someday, you know, one day make a road trip.
Right,
Hey,
like,
let's go visit each other. Let's meet each other in person.
yeah.
Hey, that would be awesome, right? So that's the joy of having the technology.
And like, technology's not evil. Same way guns aren't evil, or same way cars aren't evil. It's people that you
The whole thing with guns, where they're like, we're gonna ban guns, and I'm like, excuse me. First of all, we have the right to bear arms to defend ourselves. Second of all, bad people, because the law is crooked right now, are still gonna have access to guns. That's sheer stupidity to completely outlaw guns, because that's just gonna leave good people like sitting ducks.
Yeah. Also might be
There's a reason
triggering or
why
trigger
it's in our constitutional rights to be able to bear arms to defend ourselves. But unless you crack down on all the bad people having access to guns, that is really, really stupid to do that, because it's not guns that kill people, it's people that kill people. Guns are just a tool, right? It could be used for a good thing, as in you're defending yourself or you're saving someone's life. But it could also be used in a bad way, right? Where you kill someone, whether it be for money or some sort of gain. That's simple. But people forget. So they're like, oh, you know, we just need to ban guns. And I'm like, how about you crack down on all the bad guys first then?
Right!
You know, before you make a decision like that. Because quite frankly, and I also am a firm believer that even if you're not pro-gun, you should still learn how to use one. Why? Because if somebody comes up to you and holds a gun to you, you have an opportunity to take that gun away. But if you don't know how to use it, you're kind of screwed.
Yep.
You know, that's why I said, I told my son, don't judge, but try to learn as much as you can. You know, so my child, he knows how to shoot a gun. I'm more of a knife person.
Okay.
You know? But that's the thing, is it not important to learn to protect yourselves, defend yourselves.
Yeah,
but also
where
to
was
defend
that in
others.
high school? I never learned how to protect myself.
Yeah, but also to use words,
Pop the blob, you jump.
because words are by far the strongest weapon, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how many educational systems have gone down the toilet to where proper English
I'll
isn't
meet you
taught
there.
anymore?
Right, yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, oh, come on. And like I said, always goes back to the parents. And that's not to say, like, I had one parent that was like, oh, you're too harsh. No, I'm not. Because they didn't ask to be born. Did you ask to be born? Were there not things that you wished your parents could have done better by you? Well, yes. Okay,
Mom,
so
I need
do you
you to
not
go
think
now.
your child may
Mom, I need
feel
you
the
to go now.
same? And if you truly love them, why not make some changes? Because after all,
Holy
did
crap,
you
how many
ask
people are
to be
cheating
born?
right now?
Nobody asked to be born.
This is actually crazy.
That's the thing.
I didn't think it was this bad
So
like it was
if
before.
nobody asked to be born, and they're born, is there not responsibility and
These guys have all
accountability
the
for the
info.
life that got brought here? Is it going to be perfect all the time? No. So then, is there no shame in admitting when you're wrong? Is there no shame in saying I'm sorry? After all, you know, children cannot live and fend for themselves, right?
Right.
You know, a baby that's born isn't going to be able to sit there and get up and feed itself. You know, a 5-year-old child isn't going to be able to be thrown in a war situation. And what, you expect that little 5-year-old to somehow survive? It would take luck and a lot of miracles, right?
Yeah.
But there have been 5-year-olds who have survived trauma. But does that mean they're okay? No, they're not. Now they got scars. So it's kind of a, you know, I always said the road always starts with the parents. That's why I do agree in regards to what my culture says about children, is your life is no longer yours. You know, and so to irresponsibly bring a child into this world is not okay, right? And even if it was out of a mistake or proper education, how many of you guys, like how many youngsters would have actually had intercourse instead of waiting if they were properly educated about how bodies work? That if you have intercourse too early, you start aging.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you guys would have held off?
I did not know that. You wait. Is it for girls or like for dudes too?
Yes, for both. And it also depends on genes and everything else.
What? So you age quicker when you have sex?
Well, think about it. Because what is puberty for? Like when you're a kid, you're born a baby, right? So
Yeah.
your body is developing, your brain is developing. Then you become a child, you're learning how to walk. But if you study the human body, what is the ultimate goal biologically?
Procreate.
For any species, right? To procreate. So is there not a process that the body has to go through in order to procreate? So you have a lot of stem cells. Why?
I'm
Because your
dropping
body's
this massive. I
generating.
just hit for like 15.
You know, you go through the awkward phase during the teenage years, right?
Yep.
You might get pimples. That's because your skin's trying to figure out how it works, right?
Right.
So there's hormones, right? So you got the estrogen or you got the testosterone pumping in your bodies, right? Because your body is figuring out a certain level or a gauge of how it works, right? So, you know, boys go through vocal changes, you know, get hairier. Girls also get hairier to an extent, but they also start their cycle. So there's all that going on. But why? It's because the body needs to gauge. That's why the average male can continue developing even all the way through 25. Women on average is around 23.
Right, yeah.
But is to fully allow your body to develop to its fullest capacity. Because what happens once you have the actual intercourse? Well, guess what? Now your brain's receiving a signal saying, hello, we've made it. So the deed is done. And guess what? Bye-bye stem cells. Bye-bye, you're going to start aging. because you
Interesting.
basically triggered your body early to mature early. Your brain got the signal saying, "Bam, it's done."
And would masturbation kind of like be the same from your body's perspective, like what it thinks is
Not
going on?
exactly, because it requires the pheromones. There's like different
Okay.
parts of the body that it requires both in order to create that connection for the brain to receive, like, hey, the mating has been done, right?
I see.
But and like it was interesting because over the years, like I said, I'm in my 40s. When I went to my son's junior high school, I had no clue kids were having intercourse this early.
Right.
But the principal looked at me and asked me if I needed a class schedule. I looked at her and I said, I'm a mom. But there was a time during that time, like around my son's like junior year, high school year, where, I said, "Oh, you might be interested in girls." And he looked at me and goes, "Mom, have you not paid attention when you picked me up from school?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "They're like trolls, Mom." He goes, "Come tomorrow, pick me up at school, and then take a look," right? So I went to school the next day and I was waiting. So I saw all these parents waiting outside for their kids. And I was like, oh, that's nice to see parents coming to pick up their kids,
Yeah.
And my son, he comes out and goes, "Okay, Mom, so did you see them?" And I said, he goes, "Did you see the girls?" And I was like, "I saw the parents." And then my son said, "No, Mom, they are the girls."
Wait, what?
Yeah, they looked my age. Like, that was the scary part. They looked my age.
Holy crap.
One of the talks that I had with my son in regards to the birds and the bees, when it came time, he told me his school taught him what he needed to know. But I also gave him my own personal reason for not having intercourse early.
Mm-hmm.
Because I enjoyed studying cell and molecular biology. I enjoy studying a lot of things. And I just told him everything has a phase for a reason. So there's a reason why, even the older generations, when they said to hold off on that and to wait, even if they didn't have all the science knowledge and the backing,
Yeah.
that they knew, like, it's better to wait because there's that development, right? Because you're trying to develop physically, you're trying to develop mentally.
And that's what they don't teach you in sex ed. I had no idea.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that, and of course I've had some of the children argue with me, Google doesn't say that. And I said, why would Google say that? And they're like, what do you mean? And I said, why would Google say that when birth control companies make money, condom companies make money, abortion clinics make money.
Yeah.
Plastic surgeons make money. Cosmetics makes money. Why would they bring that up? After all, people still have to put in information into Google.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were like, well, why didn't the doctor say anything? And I said, it's pretty sad, but the curriculum for medical school, fortunately, stuff like cell and molecular biology is optional, not a requirement.
Oh, okay.
So that's the problem with putting everything into a box. Back in my generation, we were taught to never assume that you have the whole picture because stuff is always changing. There's new things to be learned. So while it's okay to have a picture at that moment in time with what you have, always leave room for change or for more information. But in your generation, it's the opposite. It's basically, oh, we know everything. But the reality is it's put everybody in boxes and it's not. Because everything's in a box. When subjects like cell and molecular biology are not a requirement, that's kind of not good.
Right, yeah.
After all, shouldn't a doctor know?
You'd think that they would know this
coming
stuff.
In a box. Yes. But who has the advantage if everybody's in a box and can't see the whole picture?
People with power that don't want you to know.
Exactly.
Because they
So-
can create the narrative when it's like that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I always told my son. I said, you know, uh, bad people, most people will deal with, but it's the evil people that are truly the concern because they do not care about anyone else, and they're very good at shifting the masses. And people will lose their common sense because I told my son, your generation, literally, majority of them are not going to have any common sense.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
you think like with this AI stuff, people use ChatGPT more than their brain.
Well, because the problem is it doesn't teach you guys to think
Yep, exactly.
because you guys are just receiving information. But how many of you guys ask questions? You know.
Yeah, and the study shows when you ask
Right
a
here.
question, you're like 3 times more likely to remember it because you personally asked that question.
Yes. Yes. Because you guys receive the information, but is there any processing? Is your brain processing the information? How many people do you see out there that just repeat what somebody else tells them? But if you were to
Right.
ask them more in-depth questions, they can't answer.
That's not
Huh?
Oh, is this Jake?
Yeah.
What's up? This is Darklight's mom. Say hey.
Oh, hi, Dark Mom.
Ooh, why did it get soft?
You said why did it get soft?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
You sound very faked.
Let me see if I can fix that. How do I sound now?
A little bit fake.
Let's see here. How about now?
Oh, much better.
Alright, cool.
But that's the whole point is, you know, I tell, you know, my children too, like when they realize like they've been screwed over, you know, that people basically fail to truly teach. And I told them it's okay to feel ashamed, but don't live in it. Understand you're just going to have to work harder on learning and to keep an open mind, do your research, you know, ask questions, you know, and also why.
What sense are you in
because
right now?
You ever, I don't know if you've ever seen those cartoons where it's got like a devil sitting on one shoulder, the angel sitting on the other.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but part of it is also your gut. You guys weren't taught to develop your gut instinct. You know, that little feeling, that niggling feeling that kicks in, that's like, maybe you shouldn't do this, right?
Yeah.
But that's important to develop, right? You got to have that gut, that instinct. But how is it going to be developed if you guys were just spoon-fed everything, but not taught to question or to process things?
They don't want you to question or process things. They want you to just but like believe everything you hear and take it for face value. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And that's why I have a problem with school. Not like if you're going to college because you want to become a lawyer or a doctor or a dentist, like that takes like specialty, that takes training. I get that, but I feel like even when I was in college, it was not necessarily with the classes, but it was like the culture. Nobody had a hunger to learn or question or go against the grain.
Because even as a doctor, should you not be upkeeping with what's going on in the medical world?
Exactly.
Brush up, read some scientific articles, continue learning. Because, see, this is so interesting because, you know, doctors back then, they didn't have all that technology.
Exactly.
So it was trial and error, but they had to keep learning.
And learning is continuous. You're going to be learning when you're 70.
Yeah.
Like my dad's an orthodontist, and he every week he has to learn how to use new equipment. Maybe there's a new way on like he buys a new machine. He has to learn how to use it. Like it's like you're always learning.
Yes. And those who are truly good and passionate in their fields will continue learning.
Right. They'll do the due diligence.
problem-
They'll go out and they will learn.
Yes. The problem becomes when you get that slip of paper saying you're officially a doctor or a lawyer, that you're like, thump, I know everything, so this is me. And it's just like, no, because the law will also be changing. So will medicine. So will education. But you look at every job right now, how many people holding their jobs are adjusting or continuously learning? They're not. Majority are not. That's why we're in the mess that we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that, you know, and I pointed out to my son, because he went through that phase, you know, where I said, but you're questioning the wrong things. See, instead of questioning in a way of, oh yeah, well that's wrong and I know, the questions you should be asking, like, what are some of the basic questions in our using our language? What, why, how, when, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that should be asked. And is everyone, and the other problem too is people are basically behaving like 5-year-olds. You know, they do something wrong, they sweep it underneath the rug. It's like a 5-year-old kid storing all the stuff in a closet, right? When they don't want to clean, they shove toys in the closet, right?
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
keep on piling it up. Eventually it's gonna blow open.
Definitely a lack of accountability, and holding yourself to a certain standard is essential for a upstanding human being, in my opinion. If you don't have any standards or morals for yourself, then how are you going to actually know, like, differentiate between right and wrong, or even care?
Yes, which is why emotions, what was your generation taught? Oh, suck it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been through that. And I'm like, no, emotions are a reaction of our bodies. That's why we cry when we're sad, or our heart aches, or when we're angry, our fists clench, right? Our hands turn into fists,
Mm-hmm.
or we just want to feel like we want to punch a wall. Emotions are expressions of our bodies. It's how our bodies can gauge. But if you don't have emotions,
Master
then
Dark.
how are you going to tell the difference between someone that's conniving? After all, anyone can do something nice. But how would your generation, be able to tell if you guys don't even allow your emotions to be expressed? That's why I always taught my son when he was young. I said, how do you feel? What do you think? Because what you think and what you feel may be different at times.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't know how to express yourself or how to let those emotions go, then is it not going to cloud how you see the world?
Yeah, and that can build resentment, that can build confusion. It can, like, make somebody not confident because they really don't know. And I think the confusion part is actually very real. A lot of young people are confused because they don't know how to process. You know what I mean?
But where does it all start from? Like when
Bob, do you want
a
a
parent
hoodie?
gives a loving hug to a child, right? The child then knows, because the child can feel the love off of the parent, right?
Yeah.
So if you establish that building block, oh, you got a boo-boo, let me give you a kiss, let me make it feel better. And then let's say you ran into some stranger and they try to give you a hug, and you could feel that it's not comfortable. Then you know to stay
I'm gonna
away.
try to go grab the swap and I'm gonna dash. Give me
Right?
5 seconds. I'm good.
When
Yeah.
you're older. But that's
I'm
the
going now, I'm
thing,
going now.
is if that building block isn't there, then how do you guys even know truly what love is? How do you know what kindness is? How do you know if someone's being genuine? How are you gonna know if someone's good or bad if your entire world is spoon-fed and it's all logical, but no emotions? But then yet you guys battle loneliness. Had you guys been taught properly to that it's okay to feel angry, it's what you do with the anger that's
Am I
gonna
starting ready,
cause
Brad?
issues, right?
Yeah.
Like
How to
proper
do all this
venting,
deck.
proper letting go, or when you feel sad, it's okay to cry.
And that helps build character. When you overcome that, it helps you grow as a person.
Well, and it also allows you to be expressive, right? After all, you know, do you guys not want relationships in your life? Eventually, maybe you're looking for a significant other. Maybe you want to marry and have kids. But what sort of parent are you going to be if your emotions are so squashed?
Right.
It does not even relate to how your child feels. If emotions are gone out of this world, humanity is dead. That's the biggest thing.
That's a good. I actually the humanity, like what happened to the humanity? That I feel like a lot of people are desensitized because of what they see. All the like when you go on social media, you can see one tragedy after another, and I feel like a lot of people are desensitized, and it takes away from their humanity too.
Yes, because where does humanity come from? Your heart, your emotions.
Your emotions,
who you
yeah.
are. You know, when you feel sad. You know,
Bob,
because after all, how many people can
I
also
do want to
cry
say that dude
crocodile
was
tears?
completely disagreeing with me on the guy being a cheater, and then you say something about it, and then he just instantly agrees with you. That's
But
funny.
that's the thing, is by learning to express your emotions and learning to be able to gauge and be like, no, this is what a genuine hug feels like. This is what a genuine handshake feels like. This is what genuine sadness is like. This is what genuine anger is like. Knowing those things then will not allow you guys to be better equipped to handle a situation. Like, for example, if somebody's about to explode or blow, you could feel a coldness on that person. Then you know, move.
Yep.
Don't stick around, right? But how would you not know that unless you process your own emotions and you also learn to gauge your own emotions? That's very important. If you don't let yourself cry, then you're bottling all those hormones that come out that are related to anger. Then what are you going to end up with? Short temper.
Oh my god, one tap on the car. Can you like one?
And then what? And then taking all the antidepressants that numb everything. You can't feel 100% happy because antidepressants will literally cover every sensor. That includes for happiness.
Yep.
So antidepressants should never be a permanent thing. If you need it to help overcome some sort of hardship, understandable. But at the end of the day, instead of antidepressants, going back to the root of the issue and dealing with it in a manner that works for you.
Right.
Is that not more productive and more beneficial for you?
Yeah, and this is something that when I was in rehab, I noticed a lot. They would glorify medication instead of like if you're in rehab, you obviously have some mental and some like things you need to get over and you need to talk it out. You know what I mean? Probably some scars that you have to like process and overcome. And in rehab, what they would do, they would just medicate you. And yeah, we might be getting sober, but the problem, the root cause isn't being addressed. You know what I mean?
Yes, and here's the thing. Who benefits from that? Big Pharma does.
Right, yes.
Because somebody's making money
Evade. I
for
can't
the
flick right
pills. Like I was shocked because a lot of these doctors,
Open the door.
they know more medicine, like literally the pills, than they do actual people. I'm like, excuse me. Like I remember one time I accompanied a coworker to a doctor's appointment, and this doctor literally looked at him and said, "I'm not writing you an excuse note." You know, because I told the coworker, I said, "You most likely have what's called tennis elbow." And this doctor was like, "Nope, I'm not writing an excuse note. It should have been healed by now. You know, it just takes a month." And I looked at him and I said, "Okay, let me point out a few things to you. Clearly, you were a medical school student that only read the textbook and only read the big print, but did not pay attention to the asterisk and the fine print at the bottom that said this is an average, that it may vary. For example, if a child supposedly had tennis elbow, the child would heal a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But you're talking about somebody who works a physical labor job. So somebody that works a job that aggravates, that it'll continue aggravating the condition, then they need to be given a time of period to rest."
Yeah, like the context is important. Like, how could you ignore that?
Yes. So I told him, I said, so here's what's going to happen. Either you're going to write that excuse note, or you can go bring me your supervisor. Because that's not okay. But I've seen one too many doctors that are like, well, that's a lie, because this is what this happened. And I'm like, looking at him like, have you not realized that's an average, not the norm?
Right.
You know, people are like, for example, if a child breaks their arm and an elderly person breaks their arm, which one's going to take longer to heal?
Obviously, the
And does it
kid.
not matter based off of diet, based off of body, how long the bone will heal? The older we get, the harder it is for our bodies to repair itself, that it takes more time. So to sit there and say, oh, well, this is an average, and I'm like, I don't want you as a doctor. You're going to end up killing me. Because if you're that narrow-minded and you don't listen to your patient, because look at how the medical system is now. You know, back then, doctors actually listened. And yeah, some of it may not be pertaining to the situation or whatever the case is, but that's the doctor's job, is it not? To take the wisdom and be able to diagnose. Well, how many doctors now truly know how to diagnose?
That's a good
Because
question.
they put everything on the technology and didn't fail to see the certain signs. And I'm like, no, it could be like this.
Yep.
But how many actually do that? I mean, it's just crazy. Like, there was an elderly lady that I knew where a bunch of these people, the doctors, were just like, oh, but we're just students and we can't handle that. Okay, so where's the legitimate doctor? Not only that, but your job is surgery. That's a little scary. That you cannot, you only learn like in a box this much
Thank
and
you.
then
That just
can't
got
do
shot.
much else.
Okay.
So hopefully someday people get their common sense back and completely don't drop their marbles, you know, that there will be a world where there is accountability,
Yep.
responsibility, and to deal with the consequences. And hopefully it'll be a better place, but that's where I told my son, unfortunately, it's your generation that's going to have to deal with the
Yeah.
consequences
Yeah.
and have to rebuild and bring things back. But, you know, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, you know, to start off life in a box and be spoon fed and all of a sudden realize one day we're screwed, right? Because it's like, okay, we weren't taught these things. Then what can we do? Keep learning. You know, like I said, talk to your elders. Everyone's got something to teach. Like I said, some of the best life principles came out of 5-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best wisdom came out of the elderly. But everybody has something valuable to give. And the more you listen, even if it might be repetitive, the more you can actually gain not just insight. See, that's the thing, is people stop listening. And you look at how people talk to each other. One of my other children pointed out, if you write too many texts, that people will just drop you. Like, I was like, what?
Oh, this person, they literally call you clingy or something like that. Oh, this person's too clingy.
Oh my
Literally.
Oh my gosh, no.
Like the dating scene for a person around my age, like 20 to 25, is abhorrent. It's almost just like if you don't meet the criteria, if you're not 6'5", if you're not or if you don't already have a lot of money, then women will look at you as less. When I feel like back in the day, like that stuff didn't really matter.
Yeah.
And it goes vice versa. Like dudes also do the same thing to women when it comes to like looks or when it comes to body count, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness, that is so crazy. Because I was just like, wait, what? And it's like, I'm like, but you got to practice English. Like you have to speak it, you have to write it. And you know, I've dealt with some of the youngsters that were like, well, I know everything. I said, oh really? So if you had decided one day you want to buy a house, you can actually read a mortgage contract and know exactly what it's saying? And they're like, well, and I said, Google can't help you.
Yeah.
So if you end up signing a fraudulent, like, or a crooked mortgage contract, guess what? You're stuck with it. And those mortgage contracts are like a few hundred pages, like no joke. And they were like, well, and I said, okay, so basically, in other words, you did not really learn English. if you learn proper English, then you would be able to look at a document and know what it says. So now the question comes down to, do you truly know everything? And they were just kind of like, well, and I was like, okay, if you're planning on living your life as a renter until the day you die, that's one thing, right? But guess what? Even when you rent something, is there not a contract you have to sign? When you buy a car or you got a loan, is there not a contract you have to sign?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, your entire world is going to be documents and having to read. So one of the best ways
That
is
smoke
to
should despawn when he
communicate,
dies. I
and
need
that
a
was
gun
one
out
of
of
the
his
things
box.
I
I
always
have
said to the children. I'm like, okay, online is a good way to, like, a pro of online is that you can practice your English, you can practice communicating, you could practice your you could expand your English, right?
I need lifeline drone. I need it.
Because English is what is spoken here.
He's on the little box.
So you can practice or even learn a different language if you wanted to using the technology. That's great. But you kind of have to work on it.
Right,
After
yeah.
all, like, you could spend what you're going to spend the rest of your life in an online relationship and never meet a person. You're going to have to deal with face-to-face contact.
That's
Sure,
just part of the
everything's
world, yeah.
yeah, everything's going digital, yes, but when you go to work, do you not physically have to be there in person? So if you spend all that time being somebody else online and then actually not develop any interpersonal skills, as in, like, when you meet this person, then where are you going to be? You shot yourself in the foot. So that's why
climbing up on you, climbing up on you.
know, I'm like, no, online is great. There's benefits, there's tools for that, right? But that will always utilize it for something else. But to utilize it in a way that you are learning and expanding, that's great. But you're still going to have to deal with things in person. You know? And
Yeah.
that's where your voice matters. And being able to speak and know that, hey, so what if not everyone accepts it? The point is, at least there will be some that accept it. You know, because you guys can't hide behind a computer forever.
That's so true. If you want to do anything with your life, you're gonna have to get out there and put yourself out there at some point.
Yes, and like I said, you know, online is a great way. Like, you and I are verbally talking right now.
Yeah.
So we're having a conversation. And you're learning skills, right? So if you were to go out there in person, you're learning skills to speak. But everything in moderation, right? Balance, right? So, like, for you, for example, you know, we're talking right now, you know, using the internet. I'm using a phone, you're using a computer. And then when you go out and about, like, let's say you go to the grocery store, or, you know, you decide to hang out with some friends in person, you know, does it not correlate? What you're learning, it'll correlate.
Yep.
And vice versa. But there's so many young people, they spend their whole world behind a screen, and I'm like, you know, don't do that. Some of them are shy. Okay, so this is your chance, using technology to help you overcome your shyness. But the main goal is to go out there and actually meet people in person, because there's certain things that you're not going to get just from a computer.
Right, and I would argue that when you have the opportunity to talk to people, talk about stuff that's important. I hate, my dad used to always tell me, he like, I'll be like, just get done hanging out with my friends, and he'll be like, oh yeah, so where's Dwayne going to college? How's his life going? I'm like, I don't know. He was like, do you guys not talk about anything important? And that was when I was younger, and I realized, oh yeah, a lot of the stuff that we talked about was meaningless. I didn't like I want to have thought-provoking conversations where we're actually learning from each other, you know what I mean? And as I get older, I strive for that more, especially with my close friends.
Yes, because, you know, I would hear, I talk a lot with my son, since I'm a hermit, you know? The one person that I talk to majority of the day is actually my son. and you know, he would bring up stuff, and he goes, yeah, and you know, some of the people that I would talk to, they would think I'm weird because like I would bring up stuff, and then they're like, oh, but that's not. And I guess the big thing with the younger generations is they talk about, you know, like it's fine and dandy to talk about whatever you like to talk about, but at the same time, there's some things too. It doesn't hurt to talk about a variety of subjects.
Yeah.
I notice a lot of the younger generations, they're so sexually based
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of them just talk about that, or like relationships, or like drama. And I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine to talk about, but what about your environment? What about your life? Like, what are things that you would like to do? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your hopes? What's your experiences for today? What are your feelings for today? What are your thoughts for today? What did you learn today?
And honestly, yeah, among a lot of like when I was growing up, I mean that those are just things people don't talk about. And I don't know, I won't say it's taboo. It's just like people, like I said, people don't have a hunger to like actually like have those conversations. Whereas like as I'm getting older, I want to have those more. I'm like, what are we talking about? Like I was with my friend, and I met some of his friends, and they wanted to go downtown, go out drinking, have a good time, and I was like, that's all well and good, but it's like the conversations they were having and the way they were talking, it sounded so immature. It didn't sound intellectual. It didn't sound like they even like. I don't even know how to describe it, but I feel like you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. It's like a party culture. People don't ask questions. They just want to have fun. I don't know. Like like we're having fun talking right now. You know what I mean? But they don't want to have these conversations.
Yes, which is why, like I always told my son, balance. If you want to go out and party and, you know, blow off some steam, then go out and enjoy being brainless. After all, there's times where you just don't want to think, right? You just
Yeah.
want to like chill, relax. That's great. But also find a balance, you know. Like that's why you have different the more people you meet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You might have that one friend that you know that if you ever need to blow off some steam, you're like, man, I will have a great time, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to think, I'm just going to enjoy. Or maybe then you will also have a friend that's like, hey, you know what? If I want to have some sort of like really deep, in-depth conversations, you know, like this is the person, this is my friend that I have. Because sometimes, like, and that's the other thing too that I noticed is that, like I said, besides the instant gratification you guys were also taught like, oh, everyone should be everything all at once, like one person. And that's not true. There's going to be different things that you will have. Who knows? Maybe you might have a friend that's an awesome workout partner.
Yep.
That, you know, if you want to get going physically, you're like, hey, this person happens to be a bodybuilder. Oh, awesome. You know I will have a great workout. Or maybe you might meet somebody that's like, oh, you know, hey, a philosophical conversation. Okay, let's go. Or, hey, I just want to have some fun. I just want to enjoy and not think for a moment. I need to de-stress. Okay. Or there's a friend maybe that's more like, hey, if I'm sad, I know that this person will hear me out. I mean, there's going to be friends for a little bit of everything, right? Sometimes you might meet that one friend that's just all encompassing. That's just like, you know what? This is my friend who is like family. I can go when I'm sad. We can go play off steam. We can go do this. We can go do that, you know? But the goal is to meet people, right? Not put yourself in a box and try to look for one person that has everything.
Right.
And a lot of people do that nowadays. And it's just kind of like, no, get to know people, meet them. Like I said, you gotta start and live like there is no you and I. So there's no distinction. We're starting over on a clean slate saying, hey, I'm gonna take the time to get to know you. So there's got to be patience. There's got to be understanding, right?
Yeah.
And there's got to be the willingness to give time. But I notice with a lot of young people, they're always in a rush. They're like, oh, well, and even how they speak, they're like, they use those abbreviations. Oh my God. I had to download like 4 of those, and I still didn't understand some of what my child was saying back then when he would say stuff like OP or something, and I was like, or like he would say Nerf, and I would think of like the Nerf toys from my generation back then, you know. And he goes, no, Mom, Nerf means smaller, whereas back then, my generation, Nerf meant bigger, like the bigger water gun.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay. And he would say like OP, and I was like, okay, child, you need to speak English to me. You know, and I was like, what do you mean by OP? Like, are you talking about some sort of op?
Smurf team on ice, Smurf team, Smurf
what
team.
is it? And he goes, oh, that means overpowered, Mom. Oh my gosh, I had to learn the talk to you later, LOL. Like, I had 4 of them little apps. They had these like teenage language dictionary apps, and I had 4 of them. And
Oh my
were times
gosh.
where I did not understand my child, and I was just like, okay, I know it's cool and all to talk that way amongst you young people, but are you still practicing good English? Because
Right.
you need good English. There is not going to be an LOL in a mortgage contract. There is not going to be a TTYL in a car loan.
That's
But,
actually so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, no, and then there was like a phase where, like, you know, those little faces that you stick, I guess they're like emojis or something, and you know, the children would laugh because they're like, you're using it wrong, and I was like, well, how am I supposed to know what that means, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I just pick one that resembles of how my face would look if I feel this way. So yeah, I mean, it's cool and all that, you know. That's one thing is I told my son, it's great that you guys figure out creative ways to express yourselves, but always remember to go back and actually learn English, because in the adult world, everything's still gonna be solid English, and you will have to deal with it whether you like it or not, and you will have to learn to read it, because how many of you guys can actually read a document? Or if you're reading a ballot book, how many people only read the front part and didn't read the back? You know, it's and that's why I told my son, I said, it's cool to enjoy, have fun, come up with different ways to communicate, because that's creativity. It's beautiful. But learn the English so that you guys don't get screwed over. What if you guys sign a terrible rental contract? Because I've seen some really shady ones.
Yep.
You know, and it's just kind of like, okay, and then you get screwed. But is that not a huge consequence to deal with? You know, so that's why I told my son, fun is fun, but there are moments to be serious. You have to balance both out.
Yeah, you gotta. I like the word due diligence. You gotta do your due diligence. You know what I mean? You gotta.
Help me, dark.
Like you said, you gotta read when it's time to read, and you gotta listen when it's time to listen, and see when it's time to see.
And then, you know, like I said, I only gave my son 3 rules when he was growing up. I said, do good at your job. That's number 1. Number 2, take care of your responsibilities. And then number 3 was basically the rest of your time is free time. Enjoy being a kid. Because the goal in life is to try to keep the creativity, the positivity.
Really hard.
Like, because you look at children, they're quick to forgive, they're resilient, they're creative, they got spontaneity, right?
Yeah.
So the goal is to keep those traits even as you transition into adulthood. That's why when I told my son the job, like his job was to go to school. Okay. Then when you get home, what do? You do your homework, you know, you eat a snack, eat dinner, take a shower, you know, and then guess what? The rest of your time is free time. Enjoy being a kid. So he decided he wanted to stay up late, but you still have to maintain rule number 1 the next day. So that's why I gave him those 3 simple rules, was because, you know, I don't know. I've seen parents that give so many rules, and I'm like,
He went back there. He went back
it's
there.
like a freaking dictatorship, right?
Yep.
Where is there going to be freedom? Where is there going to be understanding? And whereas for my son, I only gave him those 3 rules, as long as he stuck to those 3, so then he would know, okay, I stayed up late, goofing off, playing games till 2 in the morning, but I got work at 7. Did he not still have to get up and go to work the next day? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 simple rules, you could apply it to your life throughout, and it's a reminder, always have time to enjoy yourself. So work hard for it. Take care of whatever job you need to do. If you have any responsibilities, whether it's to clean up the house or take care of your room, you know, do what you gotta do, right? And then the rest of the time, chill, enjoy, share laughs, you know? It's free time.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's still up, like, goofing off and playing games, and I'm just like, you know, enjoy, as long as, you know, it's the weekend, right? The weekend's like free time. You know, you have days off of work.
GG's.
You
I'm
know,
gonna go
don't
hop in
sit
with my
there and
buddies.
try to dwell, like, that's what I mean by emotions.
GG's,
If,
Pops.
huh?
I said GG's.
GG's, Bobby. It was nice playing with you, bro.
Good night, Mama Dark.
Mama Dark.
But yeah, no, I just feel like to truly enjoy life has been lost. You know, where you guys can genuinely laugh, be yourselves, enjoy. You know, go through battles together. That's why I like some of the games, like my son and I, we would play Zelda together. We did Kingdom of Hearts together. Where you guys are a team, you guys go through hardships together. There's good principles that really come out of games.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I'm hoping that you guys are able to overcome your scars, express your emotions, be able to laugh, you know, for as much as your heart may break, or you guys may be sad or angry. But I hope all of that could be let go of, so then you guys could actually smile and laugh. It does feel good to be happy, you know? Like, genuinely happy. Where you just sit there and laugh your butt off like you sucked on a bunch of helium, you know?
Yeah.
And you laugh and you sound like a chipmunk, but why not? You know, just enjoy everything. Hey, kiddo. Uh-oh. Eggy, what's wrong? Oh no, I think he had a bad game.
Wait, really? No, I think he did. I think he just got off the game actually. Oh no.
What happened, Eggy?
No, it's nothing, dude.
Oh wait, do you want your phone back? I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, it's like... Oh, what were you playing? Uh-oh. Oh, I guess he had a not very good game.
Yeah, it
Aw.
looks like he might be getting off for the night. Dang.